I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
Hello and welcome back to my channel, Fanfic Fantasy. Join us as we delve into the realms of fanfiction and fantasy, bringing you the best stories and discussions. Today, we're kicking off the third part of our series, What If Madara Was in High School DXD. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more content in the future. The author of this story is the Uchiha Wannabe from ff.net. All the relevant links are in the description. Feel free to say hello to the author on their profile. Now, let's dive into the fanfic. Actions. The next morning, Madara remained in his seat, still contemplating on what to do after the summit. He still kept the thought of seeing who is with him and who is against firmly planted in his mind. However, he saw that at this current moment it was not the most important thing to do. Diana, on the other, has just been staring at Madara's face ever since their conversation last night. The vampire just simply couldn't stop admiring him. She assumed it might be due to the Dracula's tendency to form a strong attachment, those they have a deep connection with. Something on your mind, my king? Diana questioned. I have been thinking of what to do after this peace summit. And what would that be? I need to train you all. Diana was quite surprised at Madara's response. Sure, she knew Issei and the rest of them may need some training, but she was intrigued as to why he included her. Okay, I get that some of us may need training, but why include me? Because I want everyone at their peak. That is my standard. If you are to join me, you must be able to handle yourself against strong opposition. That includes you, Diana, Madara said as he looked at her in the eye. I suppose so. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, my king. I met the Offis you all fear so much yesterday. Diana's loving expression instantly changed into one of shock and surprise as Madara's words invoked an emotion she hasn't felt in a long time. What? Why did you only tell me this now? Did she touch you? Are you hurt anywhere? Do you have the snake mark? Calm thyself, woman, you acting like a child, Madara said with an extremely annoyed expression as he didn't appreciate the assault to his eardrums. Forgive me, my king, I didn't mean to lose my composure like that. It's just after our last conversation you mean a lot to me. So to say you met Off-Eyes, it would immediately place me into a frenzy. You mentioned a snake mark. What exactly did you mean by that? Madara questioned. It's her mark, the mark of the infinite dragon. Off-Eyes places her snake mark on whoever she finds interesting. It causes a tremendous boost in power and ability. However, it does mean the one who has the mark is bound to Off-Eyes. And how does one get this mark? Well, there are two ways. First one is by consuming one of her snakes, which are a manifestation of her power. The other way is by her touching you. However, this method requires a lot of power from her. Plus, she must be in physical contact with said person for quite some time. I see. She didn't perform any of those acts on me. Oh, thank goodness, but I would like to know, my king. Why did she speak to you? She expressed her interest in me and also wanted me to obtain more power to assist her in taking down the one she calls Red. Madara explained. Wait, Red? Oh my, I think she was referring to Great Red. Diana said. Great Red. I have also been hearing that name from Christ. Madara said. It's with good reason. Great Red has been seen as one of the greatest dragons to have ever existed. One of the greatest, not the greatest? Madara questioned. Well, no. Although Great Red has world-ending power, his was inferior to his rival Bahamut. Diana said. And who is this Bahamut? Bahamut is known as the Black Dragon of Devastation, an entity so strong that he would completely outclass Great Red and Off-Eyes. His power was so great that he challenged God of the Bible and almost beat the King of Heaven, but he lost to him because of some power God had up his sleeve. I'm not really sure what it was, but it completely shifted the battle to his favor. Madara's brain started going into hyperdrive trying to figure out what power God had up his sleeve. But then remembered Jesus mentioned something about Ultra Instinct and how that power helped him outclass Off-Eyes. Christ did mention that his battles with Off-Eyes were always close and tight before he obtained a power called Ultra Instinct. Perhaps that is what God of the Bible used, possibly a much stronger version. I need more information on this power, Madara thought to himself. So what became of this Bahamut? Madara questioned. Well, he ultimately submitted to God and they became close friends and allies. Bahamut held the utmost respect for his friend and did all he could to assist God. Well, that was until he became sealed. Continue. One day Bahamut challenged Trihexa and it didn't end well for the Black Dragon. Trihexa almost killed Bahamut, however the Black Dragon was able to escape from the beast. God realized that his friend was in pain and in a weakened state, left his throne to bring Bahamut to heaven so the dragon may be able to recover. But when God reached Bahamut's last location, he was too late as Lucifer dragged Bahamut to the deepest depths of hell and was able to place a powerful seal on the dragon. Is that so? Yes, my king. With Bahamut near death, it was just too easy for Lucifer to just bring him to hell and place his most powerful seal on the dragon. Diana explained. Interesting. It's making sense now, with Bahamut sealed and Jesus constantly mentioning the deaths of himself, his father and this Lucifer. It allowed Off-Eyes and Great Red to rise the ranking of the top 10. Don't forget Trihexa was also sealed by God, which gives them another spot higher on the list. Diana interjected. Yes, this Trihexa is also an interesting character, but I will learn about that entity another time. So tell me, Off-Eyes cannot handle this Great Red on her own? Madara questioned. Oh no, my king, the gap between Off-Eyes and Great Red is quite significant. Off-Eyes' main objective is to get Great Red out of the dimensional gap which was previously occupied by her before Great Red made it his home. She knows she can't handle the Red Dragon all on her own. Therefore Off-Eyes is trying to assemble a group of powerful individuals to help her take down Great Red. So the dragon has taken an interest in me because she wishes that I assist her in her pitiful affairs. Madara questioned in an amused tone. That's the unfortunate thing, my king. Once she has taken an interest in someone, she will not stop until she has them. She knows she is extremely powerful, so she will just use her power to force someone into joining her. Diana said with a hint of worry for her king's well-being. She can try, the Uchiha serve no one. Madara said with a smirk. I like this side of you, my king. Diana said with her producing her own smirk. However, these entities are interesting. Perhaps my path will cross with this Great Red. Morning, Madara and Diana's conversation was now interrupted by a sleepy Asuka who was making her way from the stairs to the kitchen. Am I interrupting something? Asuka questioned as she could see that Diana was more than comfortable sitting on the top of Madara's lap. Yes, Diana replied. No, Madara responded. Diana shifted her attention back to Madara and gave him a pouting lip indicating her disappointment in Madara's response. Madara, however, paid no attention to her antics and kept his focus on Asuka. So did the others brief you? Madara questioned. Eep, the Peace Summit is happening today. Jesus has been excited all night. He has told me on how much he's been hoping for peace among the three factions. He wouldn't shut up about it. I could barely get any sleep, Asuka said while pouring some cereal into a bowl. So you gonna join us? Diana questioned. Yeah, I will be there. I have no class today anyway. My lecturer is apparently very sick, so I have the day to do whatever I want. Christ, there is something I wish to discuss with you, Madara said. Asuka's eyes began to glow and she looked up from the bowl of cereal to Madara's face. And what would that be, Madara? Jesus questioned. It's about something you mentioned before, a power called Ultra Instinct. Ah, I see. However, I would prefer to discuss this with you in private, Jesus said as he would shift his attention from Madara to Diana. Madara picked up on the signal that Jesus wished to keep the knowledge of Ultra Instinct between them two. Very well then, we will discuss this later. Wait, before you leave, son of men, I have something to tell you, Diana said as she got off Madara and made her way to Asuka. And what would that be, Dracula? Jesus questioned in a monotone voice. I wish to apologize about the death of your mother. I feel extreme regret about taking her life. Losing your mother to murder is beyond the level of agony. I'm sorry, Jesus, Diana said with a lot of compassion and humbleness in her voice. This is the first time you call me by my name, Diana, Jesus said with Asuka giving a small smile. Diana was taken slightly aback by his response, but also did realize that this was indeed the first time she called the Son of God by his first name. We will talk later, Madara. Until then, my friend, Jesus concluded with him giving Asuka full control. Diana was a bit disappointed at this outcome. She was hoping Jesus would at least say I forgive you, but could see that it will be a long path before she hears those words. Huh? What happened? Oh wait, let me guess. You were talking to Jesus, weren't you? You know, you could at least warn me before you do that. You don't have any idea on how strange it feels to have your body controlled by another consciousness, Asuka said with a visibly annoyed look. Best you all prepare yourself. I shall meet you at the summit, Madara said as he used Kamui to teleport himself to the top of Tokyo Tower. And there he goes, completely ignoring me. Tokyo Tower. So what have you learned? Madara questioned as he knew both Hagoromo and Indra would be on the tower. Can't we just enjoy the scenery? Hagoromo questioned as he was enjoying the beautiful Japanese sunrise. Not much, my reincarnation. All we know is that the power is just a more potent but corrupted and disorganized version of a devil's normal power, Indra explained as he was also staring at the sunrise. We would have to conduct experiments to understand the power in greater detail, Hagoromo said. Use the devil, Madara interjected. That's what I said, but father has seemed to take a liking to the girl, so she is off limits, Indra said. And I will not change my mind, Madara. Hagoromo stated with a serious expression. Anyway, let's change the subject. You two have noticed them, right? Indra questioned. Noticed them. I could sense them the moment I arrived. Madara stated. So what are we gonna do about them? Hagoromo said, as he looked at the surrounding buildings and noticed 5 figures standing on their own individual building. Looks like that boy wishes to settle things, Madara said as he looked at the buildings in front of him and noticed Volley standing on one of them staring back at the Uchiha. Notice anything else about them? Hagoromo questioned. The one on the far right and the one on the far left possess senjutsu. Madara responded. He looked to the far left and saw a beautiful young woman with a voluptuous figure, long black hair with split bangs and hazel gold eyes with cat-like pupils and some cat ears at the sides of her head. She was dressed in a black kimono with yellow obi. He then proceeded to look to the far right and saw a young man with short black hair and dressed in ancient Chinese armor. He carried with him a long brown bow staff. Beside Volley, Madara saw 2 figures, one male and one female, that looked quite similar to each other as they both had blonde hair and blue eyes. Therefore he assumed that the 2 were siblings. 5 against 3, they should have brought more warriors, Indra stated as he began to stretch his neck. Hold on a minute, my son, we are not 100% sure that they are here to fight, Hagoromo said. Volley summoned his balance breaker wings and made his way towards the 3 Sharingan users. His guard is lowered, Indra stated. Which means he is not here to fight. I wonder what the brat wants then, Madara questioned as he saw Volley edge closer and closer towards them. Madara Uchiha, I have a proposition for you, Volley said as he was now hovering just in front of our 3 protagonists. And what would that be? Join me in my group. And why would I do that, huh? What does a devil like you have to offer? Madara questioned. Volley was extremely surprised that Madara knew he was a devil. He has not revealed his species to anyone apart from those he trusts most or those he has had intense battles with. How did you know I was a devil? Volley questioned. Don't lose focus now, child. My companion here has asked you a question. Hagoromo said. I can offer you protection, Volley stated. Protection from what? Madara questioned in an amused tone. He held in his laughter as he wanted to see where this conversation would end up. From an organization called the Chaos Brigade, as they have seemed to taken an interest in you. And why would I need protection from this Chaos Brigade? Simple, there are beings in that organization that can be a real threat to you. Plus let's not forget Off Eyes is after you and I know you could sense how powerful she is, Volley said. Madara broke out a small smirk. The mere fact someone is offering him protection was beyond the level of funny for the Uchiha. It was just hilarious to him. And who exactly are these beings? Why should I, Madara Uchiha, fear them? You will only get that information after you join me, Volley said while extending his hand to Madara for a handshake. The Uchiha turned his attention to his companions and they both gave him a nod. He turned his attention back to Volley and his hand and finally released the laugh he was holding in. I refuse. Volley's face grew into a sour expression as he didn't appreciate not being taken seriously. What's so funny? Volley asked with pinches of anger sprinkled in his voice. That's simple, child. He's laughing because he doesn't need you. Madara here can take care of himself easily, and if he ever needed reinforcements he has us on his side, Hagoromo said. Volley's body began to vibrate in anger. His hands were balled up into fists, and his aura began to ooze out of his body. I think you angered him, my reincarnation, Indra stated as he was getting amused at seeing Volley's angered expression. I don't appreciate being mocked, Volley said with his aura increasing by the second. HMPH, I see you wish to settle things. Come then, boy, let us finish what we started, Madara said with a grin that irritated the living devil out of Volley. Naya, calm down, Volley, you know we didn't come here to fight. Volley shifted his attention to his right and saw a familiar figure hovering right next to him. Hiroka, thanks, I needed to be reminded of why I'm here. So that's your name, huh? Tell me something, girl. How advanced is your use with senjutsu? Madara questioned as he was now looking at Hiroka. At first, Hiroka was quite shocked that Madara could sense that she has senjutsu energy, but soon remembered from hearing and learning what information is available about him, that Madara is someone who is full of surprises. Naya, better than anything you have ever seen, Naya, Hiroka said with a very cocky and arrogant attitude. Madara, Hagoromo, and Indra all broke out an amused smile at this girl's response. The youth always seemed to be so disrespectful. Is that so? Well then, girl, tell me, how does mine compare to yours? Madara began to control his breathing and closed his eyes, and literally within 5 seconds he was in sage mode. Hiroka's eyes went wide as she has never sensed such a level of pure senjutsu energy before. It made hers looks like child's play. She just couldn't believe. For her to even be close to that level of senjutsu she would have trained for years. It's so pure ... so potent ... so controlled ... how can a human be such a master of senjutsu? She is so amazed by regular sage mode. I wonder how she would react if she sensed 6 paths. Indra said, now sitting next to his father. Wait a minute. He just said sage mode. Are you telling me you're a sage? Hiroka asked. Yes, what of it? Madara replied. Hiroka's eyes reached another level wideness. Right now, standing right in front of her was an actual sage. A being her kind have nothing but respect and admiration for. She just couldn't believe it. She was in the presence of an actual sage. And you're not lying. I can sense it throughout your body. Your level of control of senjutsu makes you nothing less than a perfect sage. This is just incredible. I'm in the presence of a perfect sage. I thought all sages were extinct. Extinct? Madara, Hagromo, and Indra questioned at the same time. Yes, they were all hunted down and killed by the original Lucifer as he saw their control of pure natural energy as a threat. Having to deal with the light energy of the angels and the pure energy of the sages would have been a massive problem for the original king of the devils. This Lucifer character, I'm hearing a lot about him. It seems he has done a lot in this world. Perhaps I should study what else he has done. Madara thought to himself. Naya, please Sage Madara Uchiha, teach me to use senjutsu as well as you can. Hiroka pleaded as she now landed on the platform Madara and company were standing on and started walking towards him. Hiroka, what are you doing? Are you telling me you would just leave my group all to learn better control of senjutsu? Volley questioned with his rage now resurfacing. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. If I could master senjutsu at the level of this man, I might be able to finally be with Kaneko and I could protect her properly. And don't give me that look, Volley. If this was your mother, you would do the same thing. Volley opened his mouth to try hit back with a smart reply, but nothing manifested as Hiroka was right. If it was for the sake of his mother, he would do the exact same thing. Enough of this. We have already wasted too much time. Volley, Hiroka, let's go. The young man with blonde hair stated as he now made his way to Madara and company. Naya, shut up, Arthur. You just don't get it. This is an opportunity of a lifetime for me. You don't understand. I'm in the presence of an actual sage. An actual sage? Probably the only perfect sage in existence. This man in front of me is more rare than any diamond or jewel out there. To me and my species, Arthur, this man is an actual deity. You understand that? A god is right within touching distance. Hiroka stretched out her arm to try and touch Madara's chest, and just when her hand was a few centimeters away from his body, she was quickly pulled back by Arthur. Come on, now is not the time. You made promises to us, Hiroka. There are things we need to do. And you, Volley, pull yourself together, leader. We have to leave now. NOOO. Let go of me, you bastard. Please teach me Sage Madara, please. Hiroka pleaded with her right arm stretched out in order to try and hold on to Madara. Volley gave Madara one more look, then snapped his fingers, teleporting himself and his team to an unknown location. Well, that was interesting. Hagoromo stated. I'm gonna repeat what I said earlier. If she is acting like this because of regular sage mode, how would she react if you had 6 paths? Indra questioned. She would view me as a being greater than a god. Madara simply said. Several hours later at Ku Academy. What on earth are you doing? Sona was currently shouting at certain members of her peerage as they were not following her instructions with the preparations of the summit. TSUBASA, SAJI, YURA, what in the name of Lucifer are you 3 doing? We only have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. To make this place spotless and perfect. Do you hear me? 10 minutes. Whoa, calm down, Sona. You gonna work your peerage to death if you manage them like that? Ria said as she was now standing next to Sona, observing her peerage working themselves to death. I see you not taking this task seriously, Riaz. Now hold on a minute, Sona. Just because I'm not working my family to the ground doesn't mean that I'm not taking this seriously. I am after all representing my brother. So you can look me in the eyes and comfortably tell me that everything on your side is prepared and you are ready for the biggest meeting in all of Christianity. We are literally gonna be in the same room with the leaders of the 3 factions, and whatever happens in that room will change the fate of Christianity forever. Sona said, now looking at Riaz in the eye. Well, when you put it like that. Exactly, so please don't tell me how to operate, Riaz. Whatever happens here will write a new chapter in history. And whether we like it or not, me and you will be a part of it. Sona turned around to see her queen with a slightly panicked look on her face. What is it, Tsubaki? The leaders and guests are now arriving. Positions, everyone, positions. Sona's servants finished up the piece of work they were left with and sprinted to the entrance of Ku Academy to now formally greet their guests. I will see you in the summit room, Riaz. Sona said, now leaving her longtime friend to her lonesome. The gates of Ku Academy. Why does Lord Madara love being late? Calawarner asked as she felt slightly embarrassed that the main individual from their group is nowhere to be found. It's just his style, I guess. But enough of him, when are they gonna open the gates for us? Asuka questioned as she was getting annoyed with waiting. Literally 5 seconds after she uttered those words, the gates of the school swung open for them, with the servants of Sona's peerage forming 2 vertical lines, giving Madara's group a guard of honor. Damn, the way they are greeting us make me feel like we really important people, Issei said with him admiring the guard of honor. If you keep following Madara Uchiha, then I assure you Red Dragon Emperor will experience much more grander greetings, Surzech said as he, Graphia and Seraphol appearing behind Madara's group. Whoa, you look exactly like Ria's Gremory, right? Yes, she is my younger sister. Sorry to be rude, but who exactly are you? Asuka questioned as she has never seen this gentleman before. You are looking at this generation's Lucifer princess, Rainier replied as she didn't want to waste time on introductions and made her way through the guard of honor. Oh, that's who you are? So after the death of the original Lucifer, the name Lucifer has now become a title. Smart girl, a voice said from above. The group looked up to see the same man that met Madara not too long ago. It's you, Azazel, Middle said with a warm smile. Not only me, look behind you. The group did just that, and the fallen among the group saw a familiar face that warmed their heart. Tianiam Yue, Middle shouted in glee as she dashed to the beautiful purple-haired woman. How are you doing, Middles? I heard about your situation and I'm really sorry about what you 3 went through, Penemu said with her embracing Middle in a tight hug. It's okay, Big Brother got us out of there, Middle said as she buried her face in Penemu's large breasts. Big Brother? She means Madara, Rainier said in a disinterested tone. Speaking of which, where is he? Azazel questioned as he now landed next to Surzech's. That's what we wish to know as well, a voice said from above. The group looked up once more to see 2 figures descending towards them in a ray of golden light. One of the figures was a handsome-looking man with long blonde hair and green eyes and a golden halo hovering above his head. He was dressed in a red robe with a gold cross in front of his white alb and golden shoulder plates. The other individual was an extremely beautiful woman with curly blonde hair and a golden halo hovering above her head with a voluptuous figure. Michiel and Gabriel, Azazel said with smirk. Look at those wings, they are so beautiful, Asia said as she marveled at the sight of their golden wings. Yeah, they nice, Diana said with a painful smile as those wings just reminded her of how many angels she slaughtered during her younger years. Asuka's eyes began to glow bright silver and a warm smile was plastered on her face. Gabriel, Michael, it's been far too long, my brother and sister. Wait a minute, I know that voice anywhere. Is it you, Lord Jesus? Gabriel questioned as she quickened her descent with Michael following close behind. Yes, my sister, it's me. Gabriel discarded the idea of landing gracefully and flew straight to Asuka, tackling the body of the controlled girl. Oh Lord Jesus, it's so good to hear your voice once more, we have missed you so much, Gabriel stated with her rubbing her face against Asuka's. Calm down, Gabriel, you can see that this body is not mine. So this is your host, Lord Jesus? Michiel questioned as he also wore a warm smile on his face. Jesus was finally able to get out of Gabriel's incredible tight grip and stood up to properly look at Michiel. Yes, Michiel, this is the child that will carry out my second coming and bring stability by taking on my opposite. But tell me, brother, how is my home doing? Jesus questioned. Heaven is not the same without you and God, my Lord, but we have been able to keep the system ticking and heaven has become stable again. I just wish your Father could sit on the throne and guide us. That reminds me, who is sitting on the throne? Yours truly, my lord. We had a voting system and I was elected to be leader. I wouldn't choose anyone else. I'm glad you are the one to guide our people, brother, and I apologize. Myself and Father have left you all in a difficult situation. I hope you can forgive us. All is always forgiven, my lord. After all, you and Father were the ones who taught us about forgiveness, Gabriel said as she hugged Asuka's body from behind. Good to see your soul has found a host, Jesus. Azazel, my old brethren, good to see you as well. I assume your mind is still as sharp as ever, Jesus questioned with Asuka giving the leader of the Grigori a confident smile. Of course, you know me, my mind always wonders. Even though you left us and became a fallen angel, I still do miss you, Azazel. I remember the days we used to work on all our different experiments. Jesus with Asuka giving off a painful smile. Yeah, those were good times, Azazel said as he couldn't help but reminisce on the good old days with him and Jesus. And I assume you're the devil's new Lucifer, Jesus questioned as looked at Surzech's. Then I am Jesus Christ, but first, can we get inside and discuss things properly? Surzech suggested. Finally someone says it. Come on everyone, let's get inside. Seraphol said as she marched through the guard of honor. 90 minutes later. And that concludes my report of the recent events. Riaz concluded as she was reporting on the recent events that unfolded within her territory. Everyone apart from Riaz, Akino, Kiba and Sona were all sitting around a large circular table within a large meeting room. Do you have anything to add, Azazel, as Cockabeel was under your leadership? Michael questioned as he and everyone else turned their attention to the leader of the Grigori and his sectary. What can I say? Cockabeel was always a bit of a loose cannon. I don't have eyes on my subordinates 24/7, Azazel said in a calm tone while leaning back in his seat. Is that all you have to say, Azazel? You do realize that your subordinate could have started the Second Great Christian War, and it would have caused massive destruction to the normal as well as the supernatural world. Seraphol questioned as she was greatly annoyed by Azazel's laid-back response. Biddle wanted to speak up in order to defend the leader of the fallen angels, but chose not as she didn't want to raise any more tension in the room. Look, I will be frank. Cockabeel was a wild card that slipped through my supervision. I know he has caused a lot of problems, and we have dealt with him accordingly. Secondly, I apologize for any sort of pain he caused y'all. Now can we cut to the chase and just make peace? Because that's all we want after all. I agree with Azazel. I do understand and I wish not to neglect the problems Cockabeel has caused. However, let us focus on the main goal, which is peace. After centuries of fighting and killing each other, can we please just make peace and end this feud? Jesus said, I will side with you, my lord. Michael said, as will I, Lord Jesus. Gabriel said. The rest of the group looked to the leaders of the devils for a response, putting a slight amount of pressure on them. A war didn't break out thanks to the heroics of Madara Uchiha, so I see no harm done. I agree to peace and an alliance, Surzech said. Now all eyes were on Seraphol. Although peace and an alliance was incredibly ideal, the Leviathan just couldn't let go of the fact that her Sona-chan was in danger because of Azazel's subordinate. If something was to ever happen to her, Seraphol would never forgive herself. Oh come on, just make peace with it already, elder sister. I know what you're thinking and nothing negative happened to us, so please just make peace, Sona said, wanting her elder sister to get on with it. Alright, fine, I agree to peace. Good, now tell us, group of Madara Uchiha, where is your leader? As we did invite him for an alliance as well. Panamu questioned. Yeah, about that, sensei is. Door bangs open. Right here. Madara entered the room with what seems to be a hooded figure dressed in a large robe and a very tight chokehold. And I have 2 words for you all. What would that be, Madara? Surzech asked. Get down. Explosions and windows breaking. Damn ... what just happened? Issei questioned as he and everyone else apart from Madara were all delirious from the explosion. This peace summit of yours has been hijacked, Madara stated as he continued to strangle the hooded figure. What do you mean by that? Panamu asked as she slowly rose to her feet. Look outside, we're no longer on Earth. Everyone did as Madara suggested and looked out the broken windows to see they were surrounded by thousands of these hooded figures. They were all hovering around the school building, which seemed to be fixated in a fake alternative Tokyo, as the sky seemed to be multicolored, with it occasionally changing from red to purple to green to blue, and the surrounding areas were completely stripped of pedestrians and human life. Madara took his free hand and uncovered the hooded figure to see a young woman squirming and struggling to breathe. Madara loosened his grip as he had some questions to ask this woman. Tell me, woman, why have you come here? Go ... to ... hell. Madara broke out a sinister laugh and tightened his grip once more on the neck of the woman, which caused her to squirm even harder as her body couldn't keep handling this suffocation. She started slapping her right hand against his almost like a sign that she is tapping out. Madara loosened his grip once more and the woman took the opportunity to act as a vacuum and suck up as much air as possible. I'm going to ask this one more, woman. Why are you here? Madara questioned with his eyes now turning into the Sharingan. Okay ... okay, we are here to make a statement. What statement? Michael asked as he dusted the dust off his robe. That the 3 factions do not rule Christianity anymore, we do. And who exactly are we? Azazel questioned. The old Satan faction. A voice said outside the building. Everyone looked out the window to see a tall, bespectacled woman with a voluptuous figure hovering just in front of the hooded figures, smirking arrogantly at the leaders of the 3 faction. Katarina Leviathan, what brings you here? Surzech questioned with hateful eyes. To bring an end to your atrocities. What kind of devils side with the enemy? You and Seraphol have brought shame to the name and legacy of the original Lucifer. Judging by their numbers, it looks like we all gonna need to work together to get out of this situation, Azazel said as stretching his neck to get the blood flowing. It looks like it. Well, all of you that have some combat experience, please join us outside, Michiel said as he and Gabriel flew out the window and into the battlefield. Rias, Sona, rally up the members of your peerages. We gonna need as much help as we can. Serzich ordered as he as well as Serafal followed Michiel and Gabriel to battle. Well, looks like we up as well. You ready? Azazel questioned. I'm always ready for a good fight. Penemu responded with a cheeky grin. Well, let's go. The rest of the devils proceeded to leave the room in order to rally up their comrades, leaving Madara and his group to themselves. So what about us, my king? What do we do? Diana questioned. Go and assist them. Wait, are you serious? You want us to help them? Rainier questioned. Listen, I need a way to analyze your abilities, your strengths and weakness, your potential and your limitations, and this situation that we have found ourselves in serves as the perfect way for me to see what you all can bring to a battle. Damn, really, Sensei is allowing us to cut loose. This is getting me excited. Issei said as he has been wanting another try in a battle. Alright then, it's been a while since we have worked up a sweat, let's head out. Calla Warner said. Diana, the fallen angels as well as Issei all jumped out the window and proceeded to join the fight and assist the leaders of the three factions. Huh? What's going on? Oh come on, man. This whole being the host of one of the greatest souls in Christianity is not as great as it seems. Asuka expressed with extreme irritation. It seems Jesus has given you control, in order for me to brief. But anyway, we are under attack and the leaders of the three factions need assistance. So join the rest of them and help take down these hooded fools. Oh really? I've been wanting to test out my powers, Asuka said with an excited smile and glowing silver eyes. She summoned her pure white angel wings and flew out the window in order to satisfy her cravings for battle. What seems to be the problem, Asia? Why are you not joining the fight? Because I will just slow everyone down. I'm not experienced like Diana or Calla Warner and I don't have massive destructive powers like Asuka or Issei. I just won't be useful in battle, big brother. Madara used 2 fingers from his free hand to poke Asia on the forehead. Unacceptable, Asia. I will not allow a follower of mine to have such a weak mindset. This life we are living and this goal I wish to accomplish is submerged between life and death. If we accept such weaknesses in our lives, then we will be consumed by death, fear, and failure. I refuse such a life. You are the healer, Asia. When everyone else is injured or near death, who is the one they gonna turn to? Me. Exactly. In this current moment I do understand that you have no battle skills. However, what you can do is avoid the line of fire. Stay within the shadows and be available for your comrades when they need you. Without you, they won't have a healer to turn to. Do you understand? Yes, big brother, I fully understand. Good, take some of my energy to assist you in your quest. Madara began transferring some of his natural energy to Asia, which caused the blonde to feel a surge of incredible power circulating throughout her body. She felt her strength, vision, sensing and reactions all increased to a significant level. Soon her eyes began to glow bright green and her twilight healing rings began to shine brightly. Now go, Asia, it is my command. Right, big brother, I won't let you down. Asia dashed to the window and jumped out, landing on the battlefield ever so effortlessly. She quickly began to control her breathing and started dodging and ducking all the attacks that were heading for her. Now as for you, you are gonna reveal all the information you know about this old Satan faction, Madara said with a devilish smile while looking at the young woman who was still squirming in his chokehold. The Uchiha then proceeded to exit the room via the door and used the stairs down the hall in order to make his way to the roof of the building to get a better view of the battle. Once Madara reached the roof of the building, he could see different attacks being flung around all over the battlefield. Within 5 seconds, Madara could understand the tactics of the leaders of the three factions and his group. Sona, her peerage, Kiba, Issei, Asia and Diana were the ground team dealing with all the opposition that were not flying. Hayadu seems to have impressive amount of power and brute strength, however his technique is pathetic and sloppy. He is similar to that queen I fought 2 days ago. He is relying on his body to soak up attacks, but for now this is good. It allows his body to experience the harshness of battle and increase his endurance. Asia performing quite well, however she is using my power to maneuver around the battlefield. She will need to learn to rely on her own abilities. She needs physical as well as awareness training, and that healing of hers, I want it to be at the level of Hashirama's healing. There is much to be done with these two, Madara thought to himself. Madara then turned his attention to Diana and could see that the vampire was having a field day. She was casually blitzing through hundreds of opposition, making sure not one of them lay a finger on her body. Diana is not being tested. She needs harder opposition for a proper analysis. However, I can see that my blood has increased her fighting ability quite significantly since the last time I fought her. Madara now looked to the skies and could see the rest of the alliance made up the Air Force. Asuka seemed to be flexing her abilities, pushing the capabilities of her wings to see how fast she could strike her opponents. Asuka shows great potential. It seems her body still remembers how to fight. I suppose the only benefit the Antichrist left her. The power is there, however she is being careless. If she continues to keep fighting like this, she will burn herself out quickly. The power may be decent, but her body still doesn't have the stamina and endurance to keep up with all of Christ's power. As for the Fallens, Rainier, Calawarner, and Middle seem to dominate against weaker opposition. It's against the stronger opposition that they struggle with. It would seem they just need to break their limits and be pushed out of their comfort zone in order for them to reach their peak. Madara then looked at Azazel and Penemu and noticed they had 12 wings while his subordinates had 2. He assumed that the more wings a Fallen has must be an indication of how much power they possess, and since Azazel is a leader, he could see that he was the benchmark his subordinates should strive to achieve. Alright then, as for you, it is time you answered some of my questions. Who are you, our people? I will never talk. Woman, if I wanted to, I could have had the information from you a long time ago. I just enjoy doing things this way. Madara said, then looked down at the feet of the young woman and set them on fire using Amaterasu. Before she could scream her lungs out from the pain, Madara tightened his grip even more on her neck, completely suffocating her pipes from releasing her voice. I'm going to ask this one more time. Are you gonna cooperate with me, or do I need to snap your neck? The woman vigorously shook her head, indicating to the Uchiha that she has had enough with playing difficult and is willing to answer all his questions. Madara allowed the black flames to burn her just a little bit more before eventually switching them off and loosening his grip on her neck. Okay. Okay. Will cooperate. Good. Now tell me, who are you hooded figures? We are humans that can be classified as magicians. And what is the Old Satan faction? The Old Satan faction is the largest faction of the Chaos Brigade, comprised of pure-blooded devils that fanatically support the world as well as supernatural world domination ideals of the original Satans, which were Beelzebub, Lucifer, Asmodeus, and Leviathan. That name again, the Chaos Brigade. Perhaps there is more to this organization than I thought. And what is the Chaos Brigade? The Chaos Brigade also known as the Army of Disaster. They are a terrorist group comprised of multiple races, such as devils, fallen angels, humans, a few angels, and many more other races. It was created with the purpose to be an opposing force to the growing alliances of the various mythologies. However, things are not going smoothly within the Chaos Brigade. Explain. A large part of the Chaos Brigade do not agree with the mission of their current leader Alphys, as all she wants to do is use the power of the Chaos Brigade to rid the dimensional gap of Great Red. The previous leaders were the ones with the idea of rebelling against the growing alliances, and many of its current members agree with the ideals of the previous leaders. Hence now they are formulating a way to overthrow Alphys and take most of her power in the process. Interesting, so this Alphys is under threat. Perhaps that is why she approached me for assistance. Unfortunately for her, the Uchiha serve no one. Madara thought to himself. So why have you humans joined the Old Satan faction? What do you think? For power, obviously. We have the ability to use magic, and once the Chaos Brigade takes control of the world, we will have a share of that power. Madara quickly noticed that a few attacks were heading his way, and quickly placed the young woman in front of him in order for her to shield the Uchiha from the incoming attacks. Looks like she is dead. Regardless, I got what I wanted, Madara said as he tossed her corpse to the side and continued observing the battle. The battle seemed to be going in the favor of the Alliance. The magicians' numbers were dropping by the second, and Madara made sure to take into account how many takedowns his subordinates have accomplished. Give it up, Kateria. It's obvious that you're losing, Azazel said with his trademark smirk. The Leviathan was breathing heavily, trying to recover from the intense battle she had with the leader of the fallen angels. Once she was able to catch her breath, she looked at Azazel and the surrounding opposition and broke out a deranged laugh. You think I'm done? How stupid do you think I am to only rely on magicians? Oh no, fools, I got reinforcements, lots of them. Kateria snapped her fingers and an extremely large black magic circle appeared above them. Soon hundreds upon thousands of armored warriors began to submerge from the magic circle and descend to the battlefield. However, there were two distinct features about these warriors. At the sides of their foreheads they possess sharp horns, and on their lower back they seem to possess long tails. From now on, we that follow the teachings of the original Lucifer will not be called devils. From now on we are known as the demons, Kateria said, with her now also manifesting two horns on her head and her lower back sprouting out a devil's tail. Demons, are you telling me? Yes, sirs, we devils that follow the original Lucifer have transformed into a new race, the more evil race. We will no longer associate ourselves with you devils, we are now known as the demons, Katarina said with an evil smirk. Madara used his Sharingan to observe the energy flow of these new devils that call themselves demons and noticed something extremely familiar about their energy. Their energy, it is similar to the energy of that stray devil I subdued earlier. It's much more potent but more corrupted and vile than a normal devil's energy. Things just keep getting interesting in this world. Now then, the demons of Lord Lucifer attack, and show them that we of the old Satan faction will become the new rulers of Christianity, Katarina said, and a loud war cry could be heard from the warriors before they went charging towards their targets. The demons and the magicians went all out against the alliance, giving them every attack they got, and their assault was beginning to press the alliance into a corner. The minutes went by and the battle seemed to tip into the favor of the old Satan faction. Each member of the alliance was being pushed. They were always surrounded by 5 or 6 enemies, and when they took one down, 3 or 4 more would take their place. Things are not looking good, Gabrielle said as she was standing side by side with Asuka, who seemed to be in even worse shape than the angel. Looks like with her going all out in the beginning was now taking its toll on her body. This is perfect. Now let me see what you are all capable of when your back is against the wall. Show me what is your response when the odds are against you in battle. Madara thought to himself while observing his fatigued followers. The battle continued to play out and it was seriously not looking good for the alliance. They were being ambushed from all sides and started to sustain some serious injuries. Asia was working overtime trying to heal as many injuries as she can. However, with the constant use of her sacred gear, it was also now taking its toll on her. Madara's natural energy was a big help for her, but unfortunately with her constant healing it was running low. Issei and the Fallens of Madara's group were getting absolutely decimated. They were just not used to dealing with ambushes from 6 to 7 enemies at one time. Add to the fact that the demons were by far the strongest opponents they have ever faced in quite some time. Diana and the male leaders of the 3 factions were impressively holding their own. But Madara could see that they couldn't keep this up for much longer. Seraphal and Penemu were doing their best to protect Riz, Sona and their peerages from the onslaught of attacks. They were able to take down a good amount of the demon and magician army, but for every one they took down, 6 or 7 would come to take their place. This is really looking good, Penemu said, trying her best to catch her breath. Where is Madara, Seraphal questioned. The bastard is just watching us, Penemu stated with her collapsing to her knees from exhaustion. Oh, what's wrong, heroes? Not liking my surprise? Well, you not gonna like this one, Katarina said as she snapped her fingers once more and a group of magicians appeared on the battlefield carrying 2 members of Riz's peerage. Oh no, Gasper, Kaneko, Riz shouted in worry for the well-being of her servants. Is that? Diana took an extended look at Gasper and was beginning to recognize who he was. That's right, we have your little vampire Riz Gremory and we are about to use him against you. Do it now, magicians. The magicians began placing magic seals all over Gasper's body, forcing the vampire to submit to them and obey all of their commands. This is not good. I know what they are trying to do. They are trying to use Gasper's forbidden valor view, and if he activates it, we will all be trapped in time, Riz stated. The boy can freeze time, huh? Quite impressive. However, it would not be ideal to be caught up in an ability like that. Perhaps it is time I stepped in, Madara thought. Just when the Uchiha was about to enter the battlefield, Diana released an ear-piercing war cry that caused everyone to shift their attention to the Queen of the Vampires. Diana's hair began to change from silver to black, with a frost-white crown appearing on the top of her head. Her dress also changed, going from its usual black color to one of blood red with bat logos splashed across the dress. It seems Diana has transformed. However, there is something different about her eyes. Madara focused all his attention on Diana's face and could see that with her eyes she had a familiar looking mark. Madara took a closer look and could see that in each of Diana's red eyes she had a single Tamo mark on them. The Tamo, that is the mark of the Sharingan. Wait a minute, with Diana consuming my blood, does this mean she was obtaining some of my power? It makes sense, she kept on getting stronger the longer she drank my blood. However, she is not an Uchiha, so that immature Sharingan she has will exhaust her. Diana's raging eyes were focused on the magicians and demons that were surrounding Gasper. She dashed towards them at incredible speeds, killing any one of them that stood in her way. What is this? Why can I predict their movements? It's almost as if I know where they are going to strike before they actually do. Is this the result of my drinking my king's power? Diana questioned herself as she kept on going, killing every enemy that was in front of her. Impressive, Diana. It seems my power is serving you well, Madara said to himself as he was enjoying the vampire's onslaught. Eventually, Diana killed every single enemy that surrounded Gasper and Kaneko, and made her way to the younger vampire, making sure to bring him into a tight hug. "Oh cousin, are you alright?" "It's me, Diana. I have been wondering where you have been all this time." "Huh? What? Wait, Diana, is that you?" Yes, it is, cousin. Oh, how I have missed you, Gasper. I thought you were dead," Diana said with tears of joy running down her bloody face. "Oh, don't cry, Diana. You know I never like seeing you cry." "Oh, shut up, you idiot, and come here," Diana said as she brought Gasper into a tighter hug. "Oh, how heartwarming. Well, looks like that move didn't work out. But I got one more trump card for you all," Katarina said with an evil smirk. She raised her hands to the sky and focused all her energy to summon a magic circle that was 5 times bigger than the one that released the demons. The magic circle completely covered the entire battlefield and surrounding area. "Now then, it's time for you all to die, come on out, my friend." A few moments go by and everyone could see huge gigantic feet coming out of the magic circle. They continued to observe the phenomena until they saw an absolutely massive human-looking creature that had various scars all over its body and weapons that were stuck to its body. Eventually, the gigantic creature reached the surface and its yellow eyes were fixated on every single member of the alliance. It was so huge that it made everyone else look like ants that can be crushed by its finger. "It cannot be." "Oh, but it is, Azazel. What you are looking at right now is the old Satan faction's own personal titan," Katarina said with a devilish smile. "But how on earth did you guys get a titan?" Surzetz questioned. "That's it, we are done. There is no way we can take on a titan. That's something even Zeus and the rest of the gods have trouble with," Azazel said with all his hope simply evaporating. "We got no chance, and no chance at all," Michael said in despair. Gabrielle dropped to her knees. The sight of a titan just drained whatever hope she had left. She knew no one from the alliance could stand a chance against a titan. The majority of the alliance followed suit, with many of them dropping to their knees, essentially showing their surrender. "I may be strong, but there is no chance I can take on a titan. We are all doomed," Diana said as she kept Gasper close to her. Madara was utterly disappointed at his group's reaction at this sudden change of events. He concluded that there is a lot of work to be done on his subordinates. "Pathetic. There is much to be done with these 7, but I suppose it is time I stepped into the battlefield. Because by the looks of it, if I don't, they will all be dead," Madara said to himself, then dropped into the battlefield, activating his Rinnegan. "Go on, my darling. Make me proud. Go and kill every single one of them," Katarina commanded, and the Titan began marching towards its targets. The Titan saw that both Asuka and Gabrielle were close by it. Therefore it raised its right foot in order to stomp the 2 members of the alliance to death. "Asuka, Gabrielle, watch out," Issei and Michiel shouted out at the same time. The 2 ladies raised their heads to see the Titan's foot heading their way, and both simply closed their eyes and waited for their deaths, accepting that there was no way out of this. Universal pull. The moment those words were uttered, the 2 women were forcefully pulled back towards the group, just barely escaping death by being stomped. The 2 women opened their eyes to see that they were still alive, but didn't understand how. "We're alive. But how?" Asuka questioned. "I give you all 10 seconds to get behind me. Otherwise I cannot guarantee that you will make it out of this situation alive," Madara said as he was walking through the alliance towards the Titan. "Is he serious? What does this human think he can do against a fucking Titan?" Hanemu said as she believed that Madara was literally walking to his grave. Diana and Surzetch looked into the eyes of the Uchiha and could see that Madara was not playing around. He was 100% serious about taking on this Titan. 5 seconds left, Madara said as he continued his walk to the Titan. "Everyone, listen to me. I think we should do as he says. I can see that look in his eyes. Madara means business," Surzetch said as he walked to the area that was behind the Uchiha. "You can't be serious, Surzetch. This arrogant idiot is gonna get himself killed. We need to formulate a plan to work together to take down the Titan," Hanemu said. "You will only slow him down. Trust me, the best teamwork we can offer my king is to stay out of the way. Trust me and Surzetch, please, and do what my king suggests." 3 seconds left, Madara said with a flaming blue aura surrounding his entire body. Everyone just decided to place their faith into Madara and they all fall back, following the suggestion Madara offered them. "A human, you fools are putting your faith in a human to take down a Titan. I suppose you have all truly lost it," Katarina said as she was enjoying every single minute of what was unfolding in front of her. 2, 1, 0, it is time. Come on out, perfect form SUSANOOO. Madara's blue aura expanded to incomprehensible sizes, and within a few moments, it seemed to be taking a specific shape. Madara slowly started hovering within the blue flames as they just continue to expand and continue to take shape. Wait a minute, this power Master is using. It's the same one he used to deflect Big Ben and the London Eye, Rainer stated, as she was in awe of the blue flames. Time to show you demons the power of Madara Uchiha, divine power. Madara tightened his right hand into a fist and the flames went into their final stage of transformation. A few more seconds went by and everyone now saw the flames transform into a gigantic blue humanoid equal in size of the Titan. It was clad with robes and ornate armor equipped with massive katana swords. This guy is in a class of his own, isn't he? Azazel questioned as he was beyond the point of amazed at seeing Madara's display. I have seen many things in my time. I have witnessed humans display acts of miracles on countless occasions. But in all my life, I have never, and I mean never, seen a human being display something like this. Michiel stated, with the angel seeing Madara summon something like this, it brought new hope to the leader of heaven. Big brother is just so amazing. Middleton Asia said at the same time as they couldn't help but be in awe at Madara's display. I can't believe I actually fought this guy and survive. If Master didn't toy with me, I would definitely be dead right now. Rainer said, now then bear witness divine power. Madara said, then ordered his Susanoo to grab hold of one of its swords, shatter and be destroyed. After Madara uttered those words, the Susanoo unsheathed its sword from its holder and swung it in front of the opposition. The force of the swing was so great that it created a shock wave that sliced all the demons, magicians, and non-living objects in half that was standing in front of the Susanoo. Kateria's fear levels began to rise as she has never seen an shock wave. We would have all been killed. Issei said, Rias, Yahakino, remember when I said I wished to tame this beast of a man? Yeah, I remember. I think that won't be possible. You got that right, Akino. Come then, Titan, show me how well you can dance. Madara said as his Susanoo unsheathed another sword, letting it have a sword in each hand. The Titan released a loud war cry, then started charging for the Uchiha. Madara broke out his trademark smile and ordered the Susanoo to charge as well, deciding that he would meet the Titan halfway. As they were edging closer and closer, the Titan did something that no one expected. It used the moment from its charge to jump to extreme heights and adjusted its body so it would strike the Susanoo elbow first. Madara, seeing the Titan's sudden actions, decided to revert his eyes from the Rinnegan to his main Jikaiu Sharingan, causing the Susanoo to completely vanish. As Madara was descending with the Titan heading his way, he quickly used Kamui to disappear from the Titan's path. Oh God, everyone move, Surzet shouted out as he and everyone from the Alliance used whatever they could to get as far away as possible from the Titan before it lands. Madara soon reappeared above the Titan and resummoned the Susanoo. The Titan could sense that the Susanoo was above it, however, it couldn't maneuver its body to defend itself as it was still stuck in motion. Madara's Susanoo took two of its katanas and pierced the Titan back, causing the giant beast to experience excruciating pain. The Titan finally reached ground level with the Susanoo standing on top of the beast's back, with its swords firmly buried in the Titan's back. Such a simple-minded creature, Madara said as he found it pathetically easy to counter the Titan. The Susanoo raised its right hand and conjured up another sword, and the summoning used it to stab the back of the Titan's left hand, causing it to be stuck on the ground. TCH, this is not looking good. This human is ruining all of my plans and I am all out of moves, Kateria said to herself as she was not liking how things were going. The Titan began panting heavily. These swords were doing a real number on its body and its endurance. It tried to use its left hand to free its right one from the sword. However, the moment it raised its right hand, the Susanoo quickly stamped it, not allowing the Titan to have a moment of relief. He is just toying with it, like facing a Titan is child's play, Seraphal said as she couldn't understand how a human could be so calm when facing a legendary entity. It may be one of the weaker Titans, but even so, Madara being able to do this to a low god tier entity is truly a sight to behold, Jesus said as he took control of Asuka's body. The Titan began screaming and going into a frenzy as it didn't like being played as well as restricted in this manner. Its eyes began glowing and its body began producing an incredible amount of steam, causing the swords that pierced its body to start melting. Ooh, what is this? It seems you still have some fight in you. Well then, let's see what you got, Madara said as the Susanoo jumped quite a distance away from the Titan, allowing it to be able to get on its feet. The Titan turned its attention to Madara and kept its raging eyes on the Uchiha, wanting to completely rip our protagonist limb from limb. The two giants charged at one another yet again, causing a mini earthquake to occur every time their feet reached the ground. The Susanoo conjured up another sword and tried to strike the Titan's chest, but the beast caught it with its bare hands, and due to its body producing steam, it caused the blade to start melting. Interesting. So physical weapons won't work until its body stops producing steam. I suppose ninjutsu is my next option. Fire style, majestic destroyer flame. A huge wave of fire gushed out of the Susanu's mouth, and the Titan quickly covered its face with its hands in order to reduce the damage of flames on its face. Madara channeled chakra to his left eye and within seconds later added Amaterasu to his already intense fire attack, causing a combination attack fire style and Amaterasu. The black flames attached themselves to the hands of the Titan and it began burning and peeling the skin of its hands. I'm not done with you yet. The Susanoo extended its hand to the side and conjured up 5 large Amaterasu-coated blue beads and allowed them to rotate with its palm. Inferno style, Yasaka Magatama. The Susanoo launched the flaming beads and they were able to penetrate the Titan on the various areas on its body, causing it to stumble backward and experience pain and torture it has never experienced before. Wait, he just said Yasaka. Why does his attack have the name of the leader of the Yaokai faction? Azazel questioned as he was quite intrigued by Madara's attack. You're right, it does seem odd. Do you think it was an ability she blessed him with? Seraphol questioned. Madara has never met the 9 tails. That ability he is using is 100% his. Jesus explained as he kept his focus on the battle. This dance was disappointing. I suppose it is time to end this. The Susanoo conjured 2 swords and coated them in Amaterasu, and used them to slice off the arms of the Titan, which caused the beast to scream to a level that has never been heard before. Fuck my ears, damn that thing can do the impossible. Scream louder than you, Rainier. Calawarner said as she and everyone else covered their ears from the body-shaking scream. Oh, I swear, if we make it out of this alive, I'm so killing you, Calawarner. Rainier said. The Titan dropped to its knees and just stared at its served and burning limbs, completely losing all will to carry on fighting. So you have given up, huh? Such weakness disgusts me. Time to put you out of your misery. The Susanoo swung its flaming swords one last time and perfectly decapitated the head of the Titan, killing the beast instantly. Burned. Madara set Amaterasu on all of the body parts of the Titan, which was now quickly becoming ash. I just can't believe it. My king has taken down a Titan with such ease. Just how strong are you, Madara Uchiha? Diana asked out loud as she couldn't understand how easily Madara dealt with a life-threatening situation. Kateria was just lost for words. Her entire plans were ruined by a single human. All the months of preparation, all the hours of training the demons, all the resource used in order to make this invasion happen, it was all made obsolete by just a single human being. I need to inform the others about him immediately. She quickly summoned a magic circle and teleported away from the battlefield as quickly as possible. Coward ran away. Oh well, no matter, I will just grab one of these demons for experimentation. Madara released the Susanoo and the Uchiha began his descent to ground level. He looked up and could see a demon in the far distance doing his best to get away from the battlefield. He created a wood clone that appeared just in front of the demon, and the wood clone quickly grabbed the follower of Lucifer and teleported them away using Kamui. Madara landed with extreme grace and just looked around him, observing his handiwork on the landscape. However, the damaged scenery didn't last long as everything seemed to go back to normal, and the sky reverted to its classic night appearance. Looks like we are back in the human world, Madara said to himself. Big brother, Asia and Middle came rushing in, each giving Madara a hug from the side. That was just amazing, my king. Truly it was, Diana said while making her way to Madara. Madara, do you understand what you have just done? Surzets questioned as now everyone was making their way to the Uchiha. I just saved you all. Yes, that is true. However, the main thing is that you just took down a Titan. What? Was a battle against that abomination supposed to be hard? Madara questioned with his hair covering his right eye. I don't think you understand what you just did, Madara. You took down a Titan. That's a being even the Greek gods have to be serious about in order to defeat. Penemu said. With you taking down a Titan, that puts you in the realm of the gods, and with Kateria escaping this feat is bound to add more to your popularity. Michiel said. You gonna be the talk of the supernatural world in the next coming days, Madara. There has never been a time where a human had enough power to take down a Titan. Azazel said. Let them say as they wish. I couldn't care less about their opinion. I am simply man that is on a mission. I think we can all agree that we would much rather have you as a friend than an enemy. Isn't that right, Azazel? Michiel, Surzets questioned as he looked to his male counterparts. Oh, definitely. I wouldn't want to be against you, Madara. Azazel said. Yes, of course. So how about it, Madara? Are you willing to form an alliance with the 3 factions? Michiel questioned. Listen here, an agreement with me is simple. If you stand in my way, it will be your undoing. If you stay out of my way, then there won't be a problem. But the question is, what exactly do you want, Madara? Penemu asked. Peace, that is all. Well, we are all for that, so this should be a beneficial alliance. Azazel said. HMPH, we will see about that. Excuse me, Mr. Madara Uchiha. What is it, woman? Madara questioned as he could see that Gabrielle was meekly making her way closer to him. I just wanted to thank you for saving me. If it wasn't for you, I would have been stamped to death by that titan. Gabrielle said while blushing and avoiding eye contact with the Uchiha. Mitchell took notice of his longtime friend's body language and couldn't believe what he was seeing. No ways, it cannot be. Is Gabrielle actually attracted to someone? Gabrielle has never been attracted to anyone in a romantic manner, Mitchell said to himself as he continued observing the most beautiful woman in heaven. Madara chose not to respond any further and shifted his attention to his followers. So what's next, my lord? What's your next agenda? Kala Warner questioned. I need to train you all. I have observed your strengths and weakness, and I was not pleased with how easily you gave up when that abomination entered the battlefield. Come on, master, give us a break. It's a fucking titan. Even the leaders here gave up against it, Rainer said in an exhausted tone. Then you all simply have to become stronger, Madara responded. Wait, by any chance, Mr. Uchiha, would you mind training us as well? Riaz questioned. And now why would I do that, Gremory? I don't know, maybe out of the kindness of your heart. Child, do you understand that whatever I do is for my goal and my own personal gain? I am going to train these 7 as they are followers of my cause, and with them stronger it will make obtaining my goal that much easier. I see no benefit in training you and your group. I had a feeling you would say that, Riaz said with a disappointed look on her face. If you want training, Riaz, you can always come to me, Surzech said with a playful tone. Thanks but no thanks, I want to be trained by Mr. Uchiha. Surzech dropped to the floor and began crying fake tears as he was really heartbroken by Riaz's response. I also wish to be trained by Madara, but I can see that asking him would be futile, Sona said to herself as she kept observing the exchange between Madara and Riaz. Alright, I've been waiting for you to train me, sensei. Oh, I can see it now. I'm gonna be like those cool overpowered anime characters. Man, I can't wait, Issei said with extreme excitement. Lucky, Akino mumbled under her breath, as she still wants Madara to train her in lightning, so her attacks can be as advanced as his. You know that my king won't go easy on you, Issei, Diana said as she was amused by Issei's overwhelming excitement. Doesn't matter, I can't wait to truly tap into my powers and be as badass as sensei. Well, have fun with that Red Dragon Emperor. Today was quite eventful. Until next time, my allies, Azazel said as he and Penemu left the school grounds, but not before Penemu gave Madara an intense stare. I suppose we should leave as well. I will report to Zeus that a titan was somehow under the control of the old Satan faction. Please take care of yourselves, everyone. Until next time, goodbye, Michael said as he teleported away with Gabrielle and the remains of the titan. But Gabrielle gave Madara a passionate wink before disappearing. I suppose we should leave as well, Seraphal. We have a lot of paperwork to do, Surzech said. Correction, you have a lot of paperwork to do. That type of stuff is not my style. But anyway, goodbye everyone. It's been fun, Seraphal said with a playful smile, then teleported away with Surzech. We should leave as well. Come then, you 7. You all need to rest up, Madara said to his followers while activating his Sharingan. While none of Madara's group were looking, Riaz quickly sneaked up behind Issei and expertly placed a small piece of paper that had her family crest on it into Issei's back pocket. Her peerage as well as Sona observed Riaz's actions and were very intrigued by why the heiress of Gremory just did what she did. Madara used Kamui and teleported himself and his followers to the Hayaodu residence. Riaz, why did you just place a marker in Issei Hayaodu's back pocket? Sona questioned. Simple. I wanted Madara to train me and I know you want Madara to train you as well. So I placed a marker on Issei so when they are at their training camp we can just teleport there and pester Madara to the point where can't do anything else but train us, Riaz said with a confident grin. It's a horrible plan, but you know what? Why not? It's worth a shot. Just inform me when you are about to leave. I can't let this opportunity slip past me. Sure thing, Sona. See you tomorrow, Riaz, Sona said as she teleported away with her peerage. The next day at Mount Olympus. My lord, my lord, my lord. What is it, damn it? Forgive me, Lord Zeus, it's just that the angel Mitchell needs to see you immediately. Can't you tell him I'm resting? Unfortunately, no, my lord. He said he will march in here himself if he needs to. It would seem that what he wishes to discuss is of extreme importance. Very well then, bring him here. A few seconds later. I see you are enjoying yourself, Zeus, Mitchell said as he entered a gorgeous throne room. that was filled with gold, diamonds, and large portraits of Zeus. Michiel ignored the fancy furniture and artifacts and kept his focus on the lounging god of gods. Zeus had an appearance of a mature, muscular-looking man with long white hair and an equally long white beard. He had stunning gold eyes and was dressed in a pure white regal robe that had gold accents all around it. But of course, Michiel, this is the standard of living for a god, Zeus said as he continued laying on his golden sofa. Anyway, I am not here to discuss your living conditions, Zeus. I'm here to share an important matter, Michiel said as he made his way to Zeus. Then out with it already. No, let me guess, you finally gonna give me heaven as a second home. It's about time you came to your senses, Michiel. Only I can be God of the Bible's true successor. I've been waiting to sit on that throne of his. Still as humble as ever, I see. But no, Zeus, I wish to inform you that recently a Titan was under the control of the old Satan faction. Zeus's calm and laid-back expression was immediately substituted with a more serious and focused look. What was that? Do not joke with me, Michiel, Zeus said as he got off the sofa and stood right in front of the angel. It's not a joke, Zeus. We had to deal with a Titan yesterday. Then how are you still alive? I know you don't have enough power to take down a Titan. Have you ever heard of the name Madara Uchiha? Yes, I have. He is the human that has been causing quite a stir in the supernatural world. But what does he have to do with this conversation? Everything. He is the one that took down a Titan. Zeus narrowed his eyes as he didn't believe a single word that he said. I said don't joke with me, Michiel. A human take down a Titan. That's like saying an ant can defeat a god. It's far beyond impossible. Michiel simply raised his arm and opened his palm, which manifested a large golden sphere that had images flashing within it. Zeus looked at the sphere and could see Michiel's memories of yesterday's battle, and could indeed see that the human called Madara Uchiha killed a Titan. This cannot be. A human having enough power to take down a Titan. That means this man called Madara Uchiha is at the realm of the gods, Zeus said with a look of disbelief. My thoughts exactly, however, I didn't come here to discuss about Madara. I came to inform you that a Titan was under the control of the old Satan faction. This is most troubling as it's your responsibility to make sure the Titans don't go running loose, Zeus. Yes, it won't happen again. Now if you will excuse me, I need to call upon a meeting with the other gods. Zeus, do you understand the seriousness of this situation? A Titan was under the control of the enemy. If the other religions and beliefs found out, they would all be furious with you. It's your job to keep the Titans in check. I understand, Michiel. Now please, leave me be, Zeus said with his anger raising. Very well then, Zeus, I hope you sort this out, Michiel said, then teleported away, leaving the king of Olympus to his lonesome servant. Yes, Lord Zeus, what is your desire? Ready the council room, and invite the gods. I need to speak with them immediately. Tell them all it's a mandatory meeting, and if they don't arrive, I will bring them to the council room myself. It shall be done, my lord. An hour later at the council room. What is the meaning of this meeting? Aphrodite questioned as she was not pleased to be summoned. Calm down, sister. You know father wouldn't call upon the council of gods if it was not urgent, Athena said as she was seated next to Aphrodite. It better be good. I was in the middle of composing the most beautiful of music pieces. Apollo said. You always say that, Apollo, but every time I hear your creations, I swear they can be more horrible than human waste. Ares stated. You take that back, Ares. Or what, Apollo? Don't forget, I am the god of war and violence. Silence, you too, Zeus said as he entered the room with an angered look. Brother, what is the meaning of this meeting? Poseidon questioned as he was curious as to why Zeus summoned them so quickly. A Titan has run loose. Are you sure, darling? Hera questioned. Yes, and a human killed it. Most of the gods present in the room broke into a burst of uncontrollable laughter. They found what Zeus said beyond the realm of hilarious. Oh man, that was a good one, father, Apollo said as he was wiping the tears of his face. Athena and Artemis remained stoic and just observed their father's expression. They could see that he wasn't joking. Wait a minute, father, you can't be serious now, can you? Hermes said as he was recovering from his laughter. Does it look like I'm joking, boy? There is a human out there that has enough power to kill a Titan. And who is this human? Athena questioned. A man called Madara Uchiha. I have heard about him. Apparently he has quite the reputation among the Christian races. Poseidon said. Yes, he was performing quite impressive feats for a human. Hera interjected. Well, that human has enough power to kill one of our bitter enemies, Zeus stated. A human that has enough power to kill a Titan. This Madara Uchiha is gaining my interest, Aphrodite said in a seductive tone. Ares got a little jealous at how sensually Aphrodite said Madara's name. We must also keep our focus on the Titan. Michiel told me that it was under the control of the old Satan faction. Zeus said. As the gods were having their meeting, one of the servants that was a spy for Hades was eavesdropping on the conversation they were having. Once the spy heard about Madara's feat, he decided that he should inform his master. The realm of Hades. The servant teleported to a dark and ominous room that was filled with bones of dead warriors and rusted weapons. A large flame soon appeared in the middle of the room, and it was giving off a tremendous amount of heat. What is it? A dark and demonic voice questioned from the flame. Forgive me, Lord Hades, it's just that I have some news that you might find interesting. Well then reveal it. I just heard that the gods talking about how a titan was under the control of the old Satan faction and how a human called Madara Uchiha killed it. What? Don't play with me, slave. The voice said with the flame growing in size. I swear to you, my lord, those were the words Zeus spoke from his own mouth. Leave me and only come back when you have information to share. Yes, Lord Hades, the servant said, then teleported away. Madara Uchiha, where have I heard of that name before? Oh yes, he was the one that killed my pets, but it was Cockabeel that stole them from me. So this human has enough power to kill a titan. Perhaps there is more to this human than I initially thought. I will definitely be keeping an eye on him. Actions. Heaven. So have you heard? The young angel asked as he was looking at his childhood friend. Heard what? You know about that human called Madara Uchiha? Oh, yeah, I heard about him. The human that killed a titan? That's incredible. I heard that he saved Lady Gabrielle from almost being stomped on. Another angel interjected as he entered the training room. I heard that he wasn't even trying when fighting against it. The first angel said, he must be amazing. Even Lord Mitchell doesn't have enough power to kill a titan. The second angel said, I hope to be as powerful as Madara Uchiha one day. Could you imagine saving a woman as beautiful as Lady Gabrielle and slaying a titan? Oh man, it would be amazing. The third angel said as he was daydreaming about being a hero. Silence, you three. Get back to your training. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. The young angels said in unison, then went back to their training. Madara Uchiha, you certainly making a name for yourself, a human that can kill a titan. It sounds too good to be true. I hope Mitchell and Gabrielle weren't seeing things during their meeting with the other factions. The commander thought to himself as he was watching the young angels rejoin the rest of the group in their training. The Sun Palace. Lady Amaterasu. Lady Amaterasu. Lady Amaterasu. Wait a minute. Slow down, my dear. Take a deep breath and relax. I am right here. Forgive me for barging in like this. Lady Amaterasu. It's all right, dear. I have been quite bored just sitting on my throne all day, so tell me what is the matter. Wait, you haven't heard. Heard of what? Amaterasu questioned. About the recent events. Please do enlighten me, dear. Amaterasu requested. There was a titan that was under the control of the old Satan faction, and a human called Madara Uchiha killed it. What? Tell me you're joking. I swear to you, my lady, I was just as surprised as you are. But it's the truth, a human called Madara Uchiha killed a titan. Unbelievable. When did this happen? Amaterasu questioned. About 2 or 3 days ago, my lady. It was when the Christian races were forming their alliance. They were ambushed by the old Satan faction, and that's where they were confronted by the titan, and Madara Uchiha killed it. Summon my brothers, we need to have discussion about this matter. My lady. The young servant bowed her head and left Amaterasu's throne room to fulfill her request. Zeus, that bastard. How could he let a titan slip into the hands of the old Satan faction? I swear when I see that lazy bum, I'm going to remind him why I am the goddess of the sun and the universe. And as for this human, Madara Uchiha, he is building quite the reputation for himself. Perhaps now he is someone the rest of us can't ignore. Valhalla. Wait. Are you serious, Roswace? Yes, Lord Odin, a human killed a titan. And what is this human's name? Odin questioned. Madara Uchiha. Roswace replied. Ah yes, I have been hearing about him. His name has been doing the rounds lately, but to think he is the one that killed a titan. It's funny that a human was the one that cleaned up after Zeus's mess. My old friend has gotten sloppy. Odin said with a grin. So what are you going to do now, Lord Odin? Well, in terms of Madara, nothing. But in terms of Zeus, I need to go see him. He didn't keep his promise of keeping the Titans in check, and I can already tell that the other gods are heading their way to Olympus to give Zeus a piece of their minds. Odin said with a serious expression. How about you, Lord Odin? Are you angry at Zeus? Oh no, Zeus may be a long-time friend of mine, but I'm beyond furious with him. He neglected his duties and allowed a titan to slip away. If Madara Uchiha wasn't there, then the leaders of Christianity would be dead, and that is not good for the supernatural world. Should I prepare your clothes? Yes, I will be heading to Olympus at once. We need answers from Zeus. South of England at Windsor Castle. Are you sure about this information? Yes, Your Majesty. All right then. Thank you, Agent 33. You can leave now. Nam. HMMMMMMMMM. I see you're getting more popular, Madara. Perhaps I should pay you a visit and we can have another round of fun. Elizabeth thought to herself, with her face being the host of a devilish smile. Bright light appears. So have you heard? A voice questioned from the light. Yep, an agent of mine just informed me, Elizabeth said. So what do you think? Cleopatra asked as she stepped out of the golden light. That he is more amazing than I thought, Elizabeth said with a smirk. I suppose that's true. It looks like he went easy on you when he fought you, Elizabeth. That just makes me want to fight him more. A human that is on par with the gods. It's just unheard of, Elizabeth stated. Why do you seem to be inspired by him? Cleopatra asked. Because I am. Look, Cleo, me and you may both be immortal, but we are still humans. And to think that one of us is going up against beings that the Greek gods see as a serious threat is just amazing. I must know how he does it. So what's your plan? I must see him again. If he can be at the level of the Greek gods, maybe there is something I can learn from him that can push my power to even greater heights. So you gonna head out to Japan? Cleopatra questioned. Yes, and who knows, maybe I might see my cousins again. Ah yes, how are those two anyway? I don't know, I haven't seen them in years. Perhaps I will find out. You mean we will find out? Cleopatra corrected. What do you mean we? What? You want to come with me? Someone has to make sure you don't cause trouble in any way. I want to see how my fiancé is doing. Very well then, looks like it's gonna be like old times, Cleo. HMPH, looks like it, Elizabeth. Nepal, are you sure of what you are saying, my children? Yes, Lord Buddha. Zeus has been unwise to let something as dangerous as a titan slip into the hands of the enemy. Those are the actions of a fool, Buddha said as he was thinking out loud. And you said a human killed it? Buddha questioned. Yes, Lord Buddha. What is the human's name? Madara Uchiha. Ah, I see, the human that defeated Kokabeel and stopped any chance of a war between the Christian races. He really is making a name for himself. What do you wish to do, Lord Buddha? Ready my temple. I wish to meditate before seeing Zeus. I must clear my mind from any negative thoughts before seeing that fool. My lord, city of Vaikuntha, have you heard Vishnu? Yes, I have, Shiva, my wife just informed me, Vishnu said with a calm expression. That fool Zeus, he is just playing around, Shiva said with his anger and aura rising. Calm down, Shiva, now is not the time for anger and rage. You telling me you're just going to leave that imbecile? You do realize he let a titan slip by him, Vishnu? I never said that, Shiva, but we need to think with clear heads. Right now I need Shiva the supreme god, not Shiva the destroyer. Fine. Fine. So what's the plan? Shiva asked with his anger subsiding and his aura decreasing. First we need to get Brahma and discuss this matter as the complete Trimurti. Then we need to go and see Zeus as he has some explaining to do. Third, we need to keep an eye on this Madara Uchiha, Vishnu said, still maintaining his stoic demeanor. Ah yes, I forgot about him. Madara Uchiha, the human that killed a titan. It's quite impressive, Shiva said. It's not just quite impressive, it's amazing, and that is what worries me. What do you mean, Vishnu? A human with that amount of power may be bad. You know humans, they can at times be as evil as God of the Bible's old rival. What was his name again? Ah yes, Lucifer. I want to see if this human will be a blessing or a curse upon this as well as the supernatural world. I suppose you're right. Let's see what he is all about, Shiva said. Indeed, but for now let's go and get Brahma, and see what excuse Zeus has this time. Kyoto, and you say he can use chakra? Yes, Lady Isaka, some of our top censors confirmed that Madara Uchiha does indeed have chakra. Incredible. Just how much chakra must he have in order to kill a titan? And the reports still say he is human, Isaka questioned. Yes, Lady Isaka, however, our censors did notice that Madara Uchiha has complete mastery over Senjutsu. When he was interacting with Vali and his team, they saw him display complete mastery over natural energy. What? So you're telling me that Madara Uchiha is a perfect sage? Yes, Lady Isaka, we were all as shocked as you are right now. The secretary said, a human is a perfect sage. This is unheard of. He is probably the only human in history to ever accomplish such a feat. But if he is a perfect sage, then it doesn't seem that ridiculous that he was able to take down a titan. Is he stronger than you, Mama? Isaka looked to her right and saw that her daughter was fully invested in the conversation she was having with her secretary. Kanu dear, I completely forgot that you are here. I've been sitting right next to you this whole time, Mama. I'm sorry, dear. This information has taken all of my attention. So, is he stronger than you, Mama? Kanu questioned as she edged closer to her mother. By far, Kanu. I wouldn't stand a chance if I battled him, and the fact that he is a perfect sage just puts him on a level that is beyond my reach. Really? He is stronger than you, Mama. I have never heard of a human stronger than you before. So what do you plan on doing, Lady Isaka? The secretary asked. Madara Uchiha is a factor we just can't ignore now. I think all the other beliefs have the same mindset. We need to keep an eye on him. However, the main problem right now is Zeus. His laziness has caught up to him, and I'm pretty sure a good friend of mine is making her way to Olympus as we speak. Wait, you don't mean? Amaterasu is probably making her way there right now, and if she is angry, Zeus will have some new burnt marks on his body. Really, Aunt Amaterasu is so cool, I wish I could see her fight, Kanu said with sparkles in her eyes. And you, Lady Yasaka, will you go to Olympus and confront Zeus? I have to. We can't just let such a foolish error go without consequences. Zeus will have to own up to his mistakes. I see, my lady. Kanu, you don't mind me leaving you in charge, right? Yasaka asked as she looked to her daughter with a warm smile. Sure thing, Mama, I don't mind. That's my girl. Volley's mansion. I'm assuming you've heard Volley. Of course I have, Arthur. He has been the talk of the supernatural world. Looks like his companion was right. It does seem like Madara doesn't need us. Arthur said. Naya, of course, he doesn't need us. What could we offer to a sage, Naya? Hiroka said as she was laying on the sofa. But for him to take down a titan, it's just incredible. I'm pretty sure Off Eyes is thinking of different ways to give Madara her snake mark. Biku said. You're probably right about that. Madara has seemed to have taken all of Off Eyes' attention. Arthur said. Tell me, Hiroka, is Madara being a sage really that big of a deal? LeFay asked as she entered the room with a glass of water. Big deal. LeFay, you have no idea how amazing of a feat it is to have complete mastery over Senjutsu. I have lived my whole life using Senjutsu, and I don't even come close to the level of Sage Madara. Really, it's that amazing. Naya, it is LeFay. A couple of centuries back, my kind, the Nekomata was a poor and weak race. We had very poor Kai control and incredibly frail bodies, and therefore we were constantly bullied and tormented by other factions. That was until we met the sages. Carry on. HMPH. There was a time. We as Nekomata made a decision to leave the Yaokai faction as we did not appreciate the poor treatment. And while we wandered the land, we came across the sages. They took us in, clothed us, fed us, and most importantly trained us. I'm guessing in Senjutsu, right? Naya, smart girl. They gave us the ability to fight and to defend ourselves. My ancestors spent years learning and embracing Senjutsu. It became a part of us, and the teachings continued to be passed down for generations. You see, the sages were our heroes and we treasured them. They restored my kind's pride and we worshipped them for their kindness. Well, that was until Lucifer killed every single last one of them. He feared the combination of the sage's pure natural energy and the angel's light energy. God had an alliance with the sages, and I remember hearing stories of how the angels and sages would combine their energies and create unbelievable attacks. Really, and sorry to hear that, Hiroka, LeFay, why don't you two get us something to eat? Arthur suggested as he wanted to have a conversation with Volley in private. Naya, why don't you get us food? Hiroka retorted as she didn't want to leave her seat. That's an order, Hiroka, Volley commanded as he caught on to what Arthur was trying to do. HMPH, fine, let's go, LeFay. Hiroka got off her seat and made her way to LeFay as she prepared to summon a magic circle to teleport both of them. How long you gonna keep hiding it from her, Volley? Biku questioned after he saw the women of the group leave. She doesn't have to know, Volley replied. You can't expect to keep hiding the truth from her forever. Arthur interjected. I can't tell her, she might leave the group. But it's not your fault, Volley, you had no choice in it. Exactly. It's not like you can change your blood now, can you? Biku said as he made his way to his leader. So you two are telling me that I should just go to her and tell her that I am a descendant of the man that wiped out the people her kind adored? Tell her that I carry the blood of the man that took her kind and forced them into slavery. HMPH, I think not. She knows I'm a devil that's good enough. When you put it like that, it does seem bad, Biku said as he now took a seat. I just feel like it would be much easier to operate if she knew. Arthur said. Maybe it is, Arthur. But I just can't take that risk. I need her in my group. She is too valuable to lose. After all, she is a Nekashu. Those kinds of Nekomata are rare to find. Volley stated. Tokyo Tower. Get stronger for me, my Madara. I need to be much stronger. Soon I will have you and your power will serve me well. These were the words coming from a certain gothic Lolita-dressed girl who was admiring the scenery below her. Off-Eyes raised her right arm and her hand manifested a massive grayish-black snake that wrapped itself around its master, making sure not to press too tightly on Off-Eyes' body. The Black Mamba, your most powerful snake, to what do we owe its summoning? A voice questioned. Off-Eyes looked to the right and saw a familiar silver-haired devil smirking in her direction. Rise, what are you doing here? Off-Eyes questioned with a stoic expression. Oh, nothing much, just enjoying the Japanese breeze. How about you off-eyes? Why have you brought out the black mamba? Raizum questioned while observing the scenery. I want her to get familiar with her target. Target? You don't bring out your most powerful snake unless this is a big target, and if I was to take a wild guess that Snake's target is the infamous Madara Uchiha, am I right? Off-eyes didn't respond, she just gave all her attention to her slithering pet. HMPH, so is he the key you have been looking for? Raizum questioned. He has potential, but he is not quite there yet. Off-eyes replied. Why don't you just give him the snake now? After all, your snakes give all their hosts a boost in power, and if he was to receive the black mamba, who knows how strong he would be. No, not yet. He needs to be stronger. When he receives my baby, I want it to be certain that he can defeat that baka. Still holding on to that grudge against Great Red, I see. Well, I'm glad I'm not Madara right now. When someone catches your interest, they should all be worried. I will have him, I just need him to be stronger. So I've heard. Anyway, let me leave you to it, Off-eyes. There is a certain someone I also have my eyes on. Before you leave, were you involved in the old Satan's faction ambush on the Peace Summit? I had nothing to do with it. You have my word, Off-eyes. Raizum gave her one more devilish smile, then teleported away, leaving the legendary dragon to her lonesome. Off-eyes grabbed the head of her pet and raised it to her face so she could engage in eye contact with it. She looked deep into the serpent's eyes and implanted the image of Madara in its mind, to make sure the snake knew who her target was. Soon, I will have you, Madara. Just keep doing what you're doing, my servant. Mount Olympus. ZUSSSSSSSS. Get out here. These were the words coming from an incredibly furious Amaterasu, whose body was burning in anger. Her bright orange hair began to change, with it now take the appearance of bright intense flame, and her eyes looked like many burning suns. Calm down, sister, let's be logical about this, Tsukuyomi suggested as he tried to reason with his sister. Shut up, Tsukuyomi, that bastard is gonna get what's coming to him, Amaterasu stated as she kept marching to the entrance of Zeus's home. Susanoo remained silent. He was quite amused at his sister's crazy outburst of anger. Amaterasu's march was grounded to a halt as an arm was placed in front of her, blocking her path. She angled her head 30 degrees to the left and saw that the arm belonged to a certain familiar deity. Buddha. Amaterasu. Out of my way. Not possible, sun goddess. You know dangerous, I can get Buddha. Unless you want to get burned, move. Amaterasu demanded, with the air around her getting hotter. And I will say again, not possible, sun goddess, Buddha said in a firm and stern voice. You think you can take me on, Buddha? You living on your past glories, Amaterasu. We all know that you have gotten rusty over the years, Buddha said, still keeping his calm expression. You sure about that, Buddha? How about we confirm it right now? Amaterasu suggested, with her eyes glowing brighter than before. That won't be happening, goddess of the sun. None of us came here to fight, voice stated from above. Amaterasu and Buddha looked up to see who was the owner of the voice and saw three familiar deities making their descent. Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. So you three are also here, huh? Amaterasu questioned. Yes, Amaterasu, and it seems that you still need to control your anger, Vishnu said as he and his companions finally reached the surface. So what? You three are gonna block my path and protect that bastard Zeus from me like Buddha here. If that is the only option, then it will be done, Brahma said, getting ready to take on Amaterasu. Think about this, Amaterasu. You can't possibly think that you can take us three on, and I have a strong belief that Buddha here will join our side. So I suggest you calm down and be mature about this, Shiva suggested. TCH, damn it. He's right. Back in my day I could very much put up a fight, but against these four, I stand no chance. You are one lucky bastard, Zeus, Amaterasu thought to herself, then reduce her aura. Always so hot-headed, aren't you, Amaterasu? A voice questioned. Everyone looked to the right and could see Odin standing there with an amused smile, indicating he was enjoying the small show that was on display. Came here to defend your old friend Odin, Buddha questioned as he now brought back his arm to his body. I may have known Zeus since our younger years, but with a situation like this, I can't simply just let him off the hook. This divine god lifestyle he keeps preaching about has made him lazy, and he has neglected his duties. I'm just as angry as Amaterasu here, Zeus said as he made his way to the rest of the gods. This is probably the first time I hear you speak some sense, Odin, Susanoo said while observing the entrance of Zeus's residence. I second that. Everyone looked to their left and saw that Yasaka now made her arrival. I see you fired up, as usual, my friend, Yasaka said while giving Amaterasu an amused smile. I'm surprised we are the only deities here. I had the feeling that there would be more mythologies present to confront Zeus, Buddha said while taking a look around his surroundings to see if any more beings would pop up. Perhaps they knew we would be here to sort out this mess. Maybe that's why they didn't make an appearance, Tsukuyomi interjected. Ladies and gentlemen, to what do I owe this surprise visit? Don't you ladies and gentlemen me, you lazy piece off. What she meant to say is that we need to have a discussion, Zeus. Yasaka interjected as she placed her hand in front of Amaterasu, preventing the sun goddess from finishing her sentence. What is there to discuss? Zeus questioned, giving them the face of an innocent, ignorant little child. Don't play with us, Zeus, you know exactly why we are here, Odin said, now giving off a very serious expression. It's quite pathetic really, a human had to deal with your mess, Zeus, Shiva stated in a disgusted tone. Zeus didn't take too kindly to those words and quickly adopted an expression of anger on his face. Oh no, you don't have the right to be angry, Zeus, it was your foolishness and arrogance that allowed a titan to slip into the hands of the enemy. The king of Olympus decided to control his breathing in order to reduce his rising anger. Apologize and it won't happen again. HMPH as if, Amaterasu commented, not buying into Zeus's apology. Calm down, Zeus, calm down, you don't want to do anything rash now, Zeus said to himself as he was finding it increasingly difficult to contain his anger. Alright, let's relax for a minute. Zeus, you know why we are here and you know consequences are to be met. So let us deal with this matter like the gods that we are. Firstly, let us enter your sanctuary so we may discuss this properly. Vishnu requested. Very well then, follow me, Zeus said as he turned his back towards them and began walking to the entrance. Highschool residence. I'm gonna give you 2 fucking seconds to take that back, Rainier. Let me think about it. No, that's it, you're so dead. The symphony of loud bangs and household objects breaking could be heard throughout the mirrors, cell phones, keyboards, lamps, light spears, hairdryers, you name it. Anything that was in her immediate vicinity was a weapon against Rainier. You missed. Rainier continued the mocking as the fallen just barely dodged a lamp that was aimed for her face. Ladies, please can you two calm down? Issei pleaded as the ever-increasing damage to the household was doing a serious number on his stress levels. Out of the way, Issei, Calawarner demanded as she ran past Issei and was charging for the fleeing Rainier. Calawarner quickly made a stop into Issei's room and grabbed a large box that was greatly dear to the heart of the young dragon. Oh god no, not that, anything but that. Aren't you gonna stop them? Middle questioned as was she in the living room sitting on Madara's lap enjoying her large bowl of cereal. Why should I? Because they are destroying the house, big brother. It's not my home now, is it? Madara said as he was waiting for his followers to finish packing so they can go to their training site. Yesterday Madara had a conversation with Azazel and the leader of the Grigori suggested to the Uchiha a large open field near the mountains as a training site for his followers. Well, I guess you're right. Oh well, looks like Mr. and Mrs. Hayato are gonna have a seizure when they come back from vacation and see their house. You getting old, Calawarner? Your aim is just terrible. Rainier was still enjoying her fun, fleeing away from the raging Calawarner. This reminded her of her younger days as a pure angel, where she would constantly irritate her best friend at the Angel Academy. Issei looked to the ground to see his now busted up box and all its contents being subjected to ruins. All the sentimental value and beautiful memories that were contained in the box were rendered obsolete. All the time and effort he put into making the box special was all destroyed by the rage of one of his girls. Partner, you alright? Diedre got no response as Issei just looked like a hollowed out shell of a human being. The young dragon's soul was nowhere to be found as he just kept staring at the broken pieces of his joy. Partner, can you hear me? Still no response. Partner, respond to me. Still nothing. Issei just kept his lifeless eyes on the damaged box and its destroyed content. Issei, Diedre, I'm gonna need something from you, Issei said in a very eerily calm tone. In fact, it was so calm that it actually sent shivers down the spine of the Welsh dragon. What is it, partner? Diedre questioned with slight fear and heavy concern. I'm gonna need your power. Boost, 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 boost. The inner surroundings of the Hayato residence lightened up with a bright emerald shine. To the average pedestrian walking in the neighborhood, the house looked like it was containing an unbelievably bright green light show. Madara raised his eyebrow at the sudden spike of Issei's power. He cared very little of the means but was quite intrigued at the level his power was at now. Calawarner and Rainier stopped dead in their tracks as they could sense the large amount of power Issei was giving and it caused the two Fallens to start worrying about their well-being. I think we may have gone too far, Rainier said as she kept observing the power-filled Issei. Calawarner just remained silent and nodded at what her best friend was saying. Issei raised his face, and his raging green eyes were locked onto his two lovers. He began walking towards them, each step being heavier than the last. Rainier and Calawarner fear levels began to rise as they have never seen Issei so consumed by anger. It was as if they were staring at the enemy instead of a lover. How about now? Little questioned her elder brother as she could see that Issei might very well rip the two fallen angels apart. I suppose so. Baby, please calm down for a minute. We are really sorry for childish behavior. Okay, me and Calawarner will clean up and make sure everything is back to the way they were, isn't that right, Calawarner? Yeah, definitely. We will make sure the house is back to being spotless. They got no response as Issei just kept marching towards them, his emerald eyes penetrating the very souls of the fallen angels. Just when Issei was within touching distance of his lovers, Madara appeared in between the three and placed his hand on Issei's left shoulder. Calm down, Hyodu. You don't want to kill your romantic lovers now, do you? Madara's words penetrated deep into the young dragon's psyche. He took another look at Rainer's and Calawarner's and could see the deep fear on their faces. He then looked down to his hands in shock and disbelief. Those would have been the tools Issei would have used to inflict serve damage on his beloved girls. His eyes reverted to their normal hazel color and aura began to subside. Issei turned around to look at the damaged box, and when he saw it with its destroyed content, a tear began to run down his face. Rainer, Calawarner, and Madara could all see that Issei was hurt but didn't fully understand why. The perverted dragon made his way to the box, and when he reached the man-made object, he dropped to his knees and began rummaging through the box to see if anything was still intact. However, as he kept searching, he found that all the items were destroyed, and this sparked more tears to run down the face of Issei. Calawarner and Rainer first looked at the weeping Issei, then back to each other, then back again to their lover. It's okay, Issei. We promise we will fix everything so you don't need to cry, Calawarner said as she and Rainer made their way to Issei. You ... don't understand. What don't we understand, Issei? Rainer questioned as she wanted to understand the cause of her lover's heartbreak. This box and all the stuff that are in it are all very special to me. It's a box that contained memories of me and my grandfather. When I was younger, I used to spend all my holidays with him. We used to do everything together, fishing, hunting, paintballing, swimming, you name it. My granddad was my best friend as a kid. His has been dead for a long time now, so all these items you see in the box are like memorabilia, a way for me to remember him and all the good times we shared, Issei said, with him now taking a picture of himself and grandfather from the box and looking at it with even more tears running down his face. Oh no, we fucked up badly this time, Rainer thought to herself as she was feeling the highest degree of remorse. Calawarner felt even worse as she was the cause of destruction. She had absolutely no idea what to do in order to make it up to Issei. Issei, my darling, I am so sorry for what I just did. I didn't mean to destroy your special memories. My anger just got the best of me. Issei didn't respond, he just kept his eyes on the picture. Issei, still nothing. Issei, baby, please talk to me. The silence is killing me. Still no response. Rainer tried to give Issei a hug from behind, but the young pervert quickly stood up and picked up his special box, or what's left of it. I need to finish packing, just give me a few more minutes, sensei, and I will be ready, Issei said as he kept his head down and made his way to his room. Nice one, lover girls, Vidal said from the kitchen as she wanted another round of cereal. Best you two prepare yourselves and stop causing unnecessary trouble. You both have been acting like brats today, Madara said, then made his way back to his seat with Middle close behind him. Door opens. We're back. Did we miss anything? Asuka questioned as she entered the house with Diana and Asia following suit. You missed a lot actually, Vidal said while munching down on her second bowl of cereal. Training site. Madara teleported his group to a beautiful lakeside training field that was surrounded by large cherry blossom trees and sky-high mountains. The training site consisted of a number of buildings, all of different shapes and sizes, with a few humans, angels and fallen angels operating within them. Nice place. Where are we exactly, Madara? Asuka questioned as she marveled at the site in front of her. It's a training site Azazel showed me yesterday. Apparently it's one of the angels' camping and training site when they are here in Japan. You have finally arrived. Everyone shifted their attention to the right to see a familiar face standing on the roof of one of the buildings. So you decided to invite yourself after all, huh? Madara questioned. Yeah, why not? I got nothing better to do, Azazel stated as he descended to the surface. As Azazel and Madara were having their conversation, Asia decided to shift her attention to three of her companions as she wanted answers for their recent behavior. Hey you three, why are you all so quiet? Asia questioned while looking at Issei, Rainer, and Calawarner. The three lovers chose not to respond and decided to avoid eye contact with Asia as well as themselves. Yes, she's right, you three have been so dead since me, Diana and Asia got home. What? You have some relationship issues? Asuka questioned. The three lovers flinched a bit when they heard Asuka's question. The girl had no idea how right she was. Is Issei not performing well in the bedroom? Diana questioned. The three lovers couldn't contain their embarrassment. Their stiff and cold body language was substituted with more of a flinching and shy demeanor. Come on, Diana. How could you ask something like that? Issei questioned in a flustered tone. What? It's only natural. We are all adults here. We all have certain needs we wish to satisfy, like how I wish to satisfy mine's as well as my king's needs. You do realize that Asia and Middle are right here, right? Asuka questioned as she covered Middle's ears. Oh come, they will mature eventually. They might as well get an early understanding of these things. No, it's not that, Diana, it's about something else, Issei stated with his face growing more somber. Calawarner tried to reach out her hand to comfort Issei but stopped mid-action as she didn't wish to hurt her lover more. This looks serious, Asia said. Issei didn't respond and went back to his initial plan of avoiding eye contact with anyone. You seven done? Madara questioned as he and Azazel were now looking at the group. Yes, we are, Rainier claimed as she wanted to move on from this subject as quickly as possible. Good, there are cabins to your right. Pick whichever ones you want, we have got plenty of them. You can have one to yourself or you can room up with someone. Whatever the case is, go place all your luggage and suit up. Me and Madara will be waiting for you all at the training field, Azazel said. Then he and Madara began their walk to the training field. 20 minutes later, the group was all standing in a horizontal line opposite Madara and Azazel. Everyone apart from Diana was dressed in some sports training gear. Diana, come here, your training will be different from the rest, Madara said. The vampire simply followed his instructions and went to stand beside her king. Right then, in the previous battle I have studied all your strengths and weakness and took into account the potential each of you have. Hayato, you possess impressive amount of power and it would seem that your body is naturally adjusting to the red dragon's power every day. However, your fighting is sloppy and pathetic. You fight quite similar to that queen we encountered before. You need to refine your technique and use more of the dragon's power. Asuka, your power seems to be even greater than Hayato's. However, you are careless with your use of Christ's power. Your body does not seem to adjust at the same rate as Hayato's does. Therefore, you need to work on your stamina and endurance. Plus, you have that sword of yours. You should learn how to use it. Asia, you are a healer first, then a fighter second. Therefore, you should focus on improving your healing, but at the same time, you need to work on your body. You maneuvered quite well throughout the battlefield. However, you were using my power. You need to learn to rely on your own body and move throughout the battlefield without being hit. Speed and awareness are to be your allies. As for you three, I can see that you have some experience, therefore you three just need to be pushed out your comfort zone. But for now, 5 of you will engage in the same training. Madara performed a cluster of hand signs and a piece of paper appeared on the bark of 5 cherry blossom trees that were behind them. Right then, Asuka, Issei, Rainier, Calawarner and Middle. Each of you are to go to any one of those trees and place your hand on the paper. The 5 of them just nodded and each made their way to their own individual tree. Once they were in front of the trees, they all placed their hands on the paper and the small thin object quickly manifested into a clone of the individual they were touched by. What the? Issei was beyond shock to see an identical clone of himself standing right in front of him. What you are all looking at is a perfect clone of yourself. They all possess the same strengths and weakness that you have, so in order for you to defeat the clones you all need to better than what you are right now. This is your first lessons. You all are to be pushed to your absolute limit and step out of your comfort zone. And what better way to do it than to take on yourself? Madara said. This is just crazy. It's like I am looking into a mirror, Asuka said to herself as she couldn't help but admire the detail her clone possessed of herself. Well, this should be interesting, Diana said as she was intrigued by Madara's first lesson. Wait, do we actually have to take down ourselves? This just kinda seems wrong and wired, Middle said as she found the idea of beating herself up slightly uncomfortable. In most cases, your biggest obstacle and limit is usually yourself, so in order for you to be better than who you are, you often need to defeat who you are, Madara stated. He then snapped his fingers and the clones all took a fighting stance. Engage. The clones wasted no time and punched the faces of their counterparts, which caused the originals to stumble backwards in pain. Oh, do I really punch that hard? Rainier asked herself as she was surprised by the force of her clone's punch. The clones yet again took this opportunity to inflict more damage on their counterparts as they could see that the originals were still not focused. Okay. Okay. Now me is starting to piss me off, Warner said as she was wiping some blood off her lips. The fallen angels and Asuka summoned their wings and took flight, wanting to get some space from their clones. However, they quickly forgot that each of their clones have identical abilities, and they also took flight intending to close the gap between their counterparts. The originals and their clones engaged in a full-on fistfight, each doing whatever they can to one-up the other, which was proving to be quite the challenge. The rest of the humans, angels, and fallen angels that were working on the training site took this moment to stop what they were doing and observe the spectacle in front of them. This is quite the training method, Madara, making them face their greatest obstacle, themselves. I would have never thought of it, Azazel said as he watched the clones and the originals engage in a fierce power struggle. So your plan is to make them aware of their deficiencies and find ways to overcome their weaknesses. Am I right, my king? Diana questioned but got no response. Madara was intensely observing Issei as he could sense a familiar energy radiating from the boy's back pocket. Asuka and her clone's fists collided once more, and it caused a mini shockwave, which vibrated throughout the training site. The clone and her went back and forth. For every attack Asuka had, her clone had the perfect counter, and for every strategy the clone had, Asuka had one of her own to counter her double Ganger. Issei was in an identical position as Asuka, as when Issei tried to one-up his clone. The clone would do whatever it can to close the gap between the two. Damn it, D-Drag, can you see this? Yes, I can, partner. It's quite remarkable. Madara can make an exact clone of you and your abilities. I have never seen such a feat before. It does look like we will need to follow his instructions and be better than who we were when we touched that piece of paper. Issei quickly dodged a punch from his clone and performed a quick cartwheel to create some distance between him and his clone. Yeah, easier said than done, D-Drag. Guess who's back? Sage, so you have returned. Yes, I have, Madara. I left Indra to deal with things at the factory, and I can see you have started to train your subordinates with that clone technique. Yes, but do sense that, Sage. What the energy coming from Issei's back pocket? Yes, I can. It feels quite familiar though. Spears colliding. Madara looked up to see that Rainier, Warner, and Midult were all out of breath and resting on their knees. Damn it, ... Who knew I could be so annoying? Rainier rhetorically questioned while glaring at her unfatigued clone. We knew, Midult and Warner said at the same time. It was a rhetorical question ... You idiots. How ... The ... Hell are we supposed to beat ourselves? Midult questioned as she was getting annoyed at her clone's schmuck face. It's as Lord Madara said ... In order to beat ourselves ... We need to become better than ourselves. Warner said as she created another light spear and got ready for another round of fighting with her clone. Swords clashing. Asuka and her clone were both wielding their own incomplete Excalibur, and were going back and forth, swinging their swords, dodging the other's attacks and constantly engaging in intense power struggles. Asuka tried once more to slash her clone's chest, but the clone expertly dodged it and punched Asuka across the face, which sent the girl flying. Arg ... Fuck man. Jesus, you got any suggestions? I'm getting my ass handed to me here. Follow Madara's instructions, child. I have studied your clone and Madara wasn't lying. It's an exact copy of you, your strengths and weakness, and the only way I see you getting out of this is to reach a level of strength that your clone cannot reach. Jesus explained. Fuck ... How am I supposed to do that? It's kind of difficult to improve who you are in only a few minutes. You have to find a way, child, because I don't think these clones will show mercy. They're struggling, Azazel commented. I don't blame them. I think I would struggle as well if I was doing the same sort of training. Asia said. The originals and their clones seemed to be locked in the ultimate stalemate. The originals just couldn't find a way around their clones. They have seemed to try every single strategy and tactic that they know, however their clones would instantly counter them. They tried to exploit the weakness that they know they have, but the clones would use the strengths they have to block their advancements. To be better than who we are right now ... How does one do that? Issei muttered to himself as he was edging closer to giving up. Think about, partner, what would you do in order to be a better fighter? Train. Obviously, you and your comrades are missing the point of Madara's lesson. I'm pretty sure only me and Jesus understand what Madara is trying to teach. It's actually quite genius for a first lesson. Fuck man ... Then what is it, smartass? Be better than yourself, imbecile. It means breaking your limits and going all the way. The clone is a representation of you. You are your biggest limiter. You are your biggest doubter. You are your biggest obstacle. Madara is teaching you that, in order for you to reach your full potential, you're gonna need to take an extra step than you would usually do. You're gonna need to throw more punches and take more punches than you usually would. When you are done and out and feel like you can't carry on any longer, you're gonna need to get up one more time in order to try you again. You need to do something you have never done before and break out of your comfort zone. Think idiot. Madara gave you the hint from the beginning. Be better than who you are right now. Fuck ... That's what sensei meant ... To be better than who I am, huh? I finally understand. Issei stopped resting on his knees and stood up straight to properly face his clone. His limit. He began to control his breathing and started walking towards his clone with a now calm and composed expression. Issei's clone simply mimicked the actions of its counterpart. Come on then, you asshole, you will limit me for the last time, Issei claimed, then started charging for his clone. The clone simply smirked and also began charging towards his counterpart. Just as they were within touching distance, Issei done something the clone didn't expect. The young dragon left himself wide open for an attack, and this greatly confused the clone. Issei tanked a punch to the gut from his clone and was experiencing incredible pain, but quickly gathered his resolve and used his left arm to lock his clone's arm in place. Now ... You can't run away from me, bitch. Issei used his free hand to land the hardest punch he could ever muster on his clone's face, and the force of it broke the jaw of his double ganger. HMPH seems like Hayao finally understands, Madara said out as he was observing Issei's display. I'm not done with you yet. Issei kept going on and on, punching his clone wherever he could, making sure to use whatever strength is still left in the tank. Issei could feel that his body was about to collapse. His system just wasn't used to this amount of boosting. It was really starting to take its toll on the boy. Damn it, NOOO. This is it. I will surpass myself and go beyond my limit. This is it. Come Deidre, give me more. Everyone stopped what they were doing and gave all their attention to Issei, as the boy was completely covered in a green aura with his sacred gear now covering his entire left arm. This is it. Now die. Issei punched his clone one more time in the gut. However, this time the punch pierced the clone's stomach, signifying the end of the double ganger. The clone turned to a white smoke cloud and disappeared from the training site. Issei dropped to the floor and clenched his chest, trying to soothe whatever pain he was feeling. HMPH, so Hayao actually did it. Huh, seems the boy does have potential. After all, Asia, you're up, go and heal him, Madara ordered. Oh, right. Asia quickly rushed to Issei's side and began healing the battered and bruised pervert. You were so cool and inspiring, Kun, Asia said while healing the wounded dragon. Really? Thanks, Asia, I really needed that. After she finished healing him, Asia helped Issei to his feet and they both slowly began their way to Madara. You did well, kid, the first one to pass the test, Azazel said with a proud smile. Yeah, quite impressive, Issei, you should be proud, Diana interjected. Thanks, I just did my best, Issei said, then looked at Madara. Why are you remaining silent, Hayao? Tell your companions of what you have learned. It's clear they need your input on the matter, Madara said while looking at the rest of the fighters. Oh yeah, shit, my bad. Hey guys. What? Asuka, Rainier, Middlet, and Calawarner asked at the same time. I know how to defeat the clones. Yeah, we saw that, so cut to the chase and explain. Be better than who you are right now. Damn it, Issei. That DOES and help us right now. No, you guys don't understand what Sensei is trying to teach us. Being better than who you are right now means going out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself beyond your limit. You guys need to perform at a level you have never performed before and do something you have never done before, just like me. Though it makes sense now. Finally someone says it. Wait, you knew about this, Jesus? Asuka questioned as she was engaging in an internal dialogue. Of course I knew. What did you think Madara was talking about when he said be better than who you are right now? It's basic go beyond your limits training. Well, not in this fashion, but the lesson remains the same. You know, you could have saved a girl some time and just tell her the meaning of the lesson from the get-go. Learn to use your brain, child. Now come on, we have an opponent to defeat, Jesus said as he was fully focused on the opposition. HMPH, guess you right. Let's do this, Jesus. Show me the power of God's Son. Very well then, brace yourself. Asuka could feel an intense surge of power flowing throughout her body, and she found it electrifying. A golden aura began to surround her entire body and her snow-white angelic wings began to expand in size. Looks like someone else is getting a power-up, Diana said as she could sense that Asuka's power was growing by the second. Asuka's eyes began to glow and she raised her right hand to the skies, getting ready to summon one last attack to finish off her clone. Time to end this, come to my aid, swords of heaven, Asuka said with hers and Jesus's voice interchanging throughout the sentence. After uttering those words, 100 golden flaming swords appeared behind and slightly above Asuka, with all their sharp ends pointing to her clone. Begone with heaven's rage. The swords darted straight for Asuka's clone, piercing and penetrating every inch of its body imaginable. The clone became non-responsive, then simply turned into a white smoke cloud and disappeared. It's dawn. Asuka couldn't finish her sentence as her body switched off for a moment and she began free-falling towards the surface. Madara summoned a clone, and the double Ganger quickly caught Asuka before she could reach the ground. Oh Madara how you doing, savior of mine? Asuka questioned in a delirious tone as she was still trying to get her bearings. The clone brought Asuka to the rest of them and placed her in front of Asia. Do your thing, Asia, Madara ordered as he now moved his attention to the Fallens. Right, I'm on it. Hey, dumbasses, Rainier called out. What? Middleton Calawarner questioned. We can't let Issei and Asuka outdo us, come on. Master took us under his wing and saved us from a life of abuse. I don't know about y'all, but I am taking this opportunity Master has given me to push myself beyond my limit. I'm tired of being weak. From this moment on I am becoming stronger for me, for my Issei, for the rest of you, and of course for Master, you too with me. Always one for the pep talks, aren't you, Rainier? But sure, I'm with you my friend. Time we become better than who we are. Calawarner said. For big brother, I will always get stronger. Come on, let's go. Middle said as she could feel one more surge of adrenaline flowing throughout her system. Let's do this. All three of them shouted out together, then began powering up for one last assault. A light yellow aura began to surround each of them, and they could feel something growing from their back. They continued to power up, and each of them began to slowly sprout out another pair of black fallen angel wings. HMPH impressive. Looks like those three are starting to mature, Azazel said with a proud smile as he could only admire at the fact that his former subordinates now have 4 fallen angel wings. Damn, this power feels amazing. It literally feels like my power has doubled, Rainier said as she was enjoying this euphoric surge of power in her system. Time to have some fun now, Calawarner said while smirking directly at her clone. Let's end this, Middle said, then dashed at her clone at a speed that was double what she could previously perform and slapped her clone across the face. HMPH, yeah, let's do this, Rainier and Calawarner said at the same time, then dashed to each of their clones. The originals were landing blow after blow, and due to them having 4 wings, were now easily able to outmaneuver and outpace their double Gangers. The originals were now finally able to pierce and stab the bodies of their clones with light spears, and it was significantly draining their clones' endurance. The 3 fallen angels all began to control their breathing and raise both arms to the sky for one final attack. Each of them Rainier, Calawarner, and Middle were all able to create an enormous light spear, at least 5 times bigger than their size, and all 3 of them launched the projectiles to their clones. Die, die, die. When the light spears connected with the clones, a huge explosion erupted and a blinding light spread throughout the training site, obstructing the vision of everyone who was present to witness the battle. The light subsided and everyone could see that there was now absolutely no trace of the clones left. The 3 fallen angels all released a sigh of relief and began their descent to the surface. When they reached the ground, the whole group got a round of applause from the humans, angels, and fallen angels that were spectating from the cabins. Asia, you know what to do, Madara said as he now closed his eyes and began evaluating what he has just witnessed. I'm on it. Asia rushed to her companions and healed whatever injury they sustained in their battle. A good few minutes rolled by and everyone was now keeping their attention on the still contemplating Madara. Madara opened his eyes and looked at the face of every single one of his followers. Right, well done you 5. You have pushed yourselves beyond your limits and reached a new level of power. This includes you as well, Asia. Wait, me? But I didn't do anything special, big brother, Asia claimed as she was surprised by Madara's words. You just healed 5 of your injured comrades without my power, and you did it without showing a hint of fatigue. I suppose the constant healing you did in our previous battle has increased your body's endurance. Wow, I never thought about, Asia said, then started looking at her twilight healing rings. Now then, Madara couldn't finish his sentence as a bright red light shined from Issei's back pocket, and it temporarily blinded the group. Hello there. The light subsided and the group could see that they were now joined by 2 certain devils and their peerages. Sona Citri and Riaz Gremory, what on earth are you 2 doing here? Azazel questioned. Isn't it obvious? We came here to train, Riaz said with her puffing out her chest. Diana decided to switch her attention to Madara and could see that her king was not pleased one bit. And who exactly gave you permission to come and train with me? Madara questioned with a voice that sent shivers down the spine of everyone present who could hear him. Please Madara, we beg of you, you are the only person we can see that can push us beyond our current level. Sona said, with pleading eyes. Do you not understand the words? You add nothing to me, Citri. Madara questioned with his voice growing more colder. We will do anything, Madara, anything, just please train us. Rias pleaded with the determination of having the Uchiha train the rest of them. Madara's hand balled up into a fist and the Uchiha was just a few seconds away from punching the teeth out of Rias's mouth. Azazel saw this and quickly placed his hand on Madara's shoulder. Hold on a minute, Madara, you don't want to do anything rash now, my friend. Think of the benefits, Azazel said while leaning into the Uchiha's ear. What benefits? If you train them, they will be indebted to you. Trust me when I say, when you have the Gremory's favor, a whole world of possibilities is at your disposal. Trust me, you can spin this to your advantage. Just think about it. Is right, Madara. Think about it like this. You can use them as pawns and training dummies for your subordinates. They can be a means to increase your followers' powers. After all, they will need to spare with someone. Why not these devils? Just think about it. If you do this for them, you will have Rias, Sona and Surzech wrapped around your finger. Hagoromo said as he tried to reason with the Uchiha. Don't throw away this opportunity, and if they get on your nerves I could train them to get them off your back, Azazel said as he noticed Madara calm down slightly. Remember, Madara, these were your words. For peace to be achieved, both strength and love are necessary. Remember, it was you who wished to combine the wills of Indra and Asura. Those words are starting to get on my nerves, Madara replied, but ultimately calmed down. Gremory, Citri, you two said you would do anything, right? Madara questioned. Yes, anything, Sona and Rias said at the same time as they were determined to be Madara's students. Very well then, I want you two to hold on to those words. For now, fine, I will train. However, I will make your lives worse than hell with my training. We accept the challenge, the two devils said, with their determination not wavering. You know he's not joking, you two, Issei said, still remembering how hard he had to push himself in order to pass Madara's first lesson. Madara performed a cluster of hand signs and small puffs of smoke appeared on the barks of the cherry blossom trees. Right then, on each tree, there is a piece of paper for every individual. 8 hours later, it was now nighttime and the stars seemed to have taken this night to really showcase their beauty. The sky was filled with thousands of them. They were the perfect supporting cast to the already dazzling full moon. With the trainees, some of them could be found inside or outside their cabins, with some of them resting from the brutal training session, relaxing on the roof and stargazing. Others were engaging in deep and entertaining conversations, and some were marveling at the new powers they have obtained. Madara, on the other hand, was all by himself, standing on top of the lake topless as he wished to engage in some training of his own. Madara was currently keeping his eyes closed and focused on his breathing as he was currently enjoying the calm before the storm. The water beneath Madara's feet began to vibrate since the Uchiha was channeling his chakra towards the water. Madara now opened his eyes and kneeled down in order to place his right hand on the vibrating water. The Uchiha channeled more chakra to the body of water and it caused all the water from the lake to shoot up to the sky. Once the water droplets reached their climax, they began falling back to the surface in the same fashion as rain. Madara began to control his breathing one more time and got ready to dodge every single droplet that was above him. It is time. Madara spun into action, dodging every single droplet of water that was on the path to touching his body. Madara was dodging and dancing his way past the water droplets with perfect precision. His objective was to reach the end of the lake without having a single splash of water on his body. As he was making his way to the end of the lake, making sure not a single drop touches his body, Madara was being watched by a certain black-haired devil that wanted to have some one-on-one time with the Uchiha. Madara twirled, flipped and danced his way to the end of the lake, with not a single drop of water making contact with his skin. What do you want, devil? Madara questioned as he knew very well that someone from Riza's peerage was watching him do his exercise. Ara, was I that easy to spot? The voice questioned as the individual slowly made her way out of the shadows. If you were even trying to stay hidden, then your efforts were beyond pathetic, Madara said while stretching his neck. Ouch, that really hurt. Akino responded with a very mischievous and playful voice, but the girl couldn't help but be a little turned on at seeing Madara's muscular and ripped body. Don't make me repeat myself, girl. I find you interesting, Mr. Uchiha, very interesting. Everyone does. Am I supposed to be honored? Madara questioned as he was done stretching his neck and was now looking at Akino. How did you do it? Akino questioned as she tried to get closer to Madara. How did I do what? That lightning dragon you created while fighting Riser. How did you create such beauty? I have been using, learning, perfecting and admiring lightning magic for years, but never, and I mean never, have I seen such a manipulation of lightning that the user was able to create a dragon. I have got to know how you have done it, Akino said as she was edging closer and closer to the Uchiha. That is something that is beyond your comprehension, girl. Ara, you underestimate me, Madara-sama. How about a little spar, just between us lightning users? Don't make me laugh, girl. A spar against you would be just a waste of time. And Kawawa, it's okay to say you are afraid, Madara-sama. Akino teased, hoping to get the response she wanted from the Uchiha. Remember, Madara, she is a youth. She is just trying to provoke a response from you. Hagoromo said as he could sense Madara's killing intent begin to rise. Youth or not, this girl needs to learn her place. Please, Madara, think about this. Calm yourself, Sage. I won't kill her. After all, what adult would go all out against a mere child? Akino took Madara's silent response as an invitation and began channeling her lightning magic to her fingertips. She was getting quite excited to final battle another lightning user, and after the training she has been through today, she was itching to test her newfound powers on Madara. Madara remained stoic and just kept observing Akino with complete composure and disinterest. Ara, I see we are not intimidated. Guess I will make the first move if you won't, Madara-sama. Akino sent a barrage of lightning attack towards Madara, but our protagonist still didn't move. Instead, he seemed to welcome Akino's attempts to try and injure him. Madara created a stream of current that surrounded his entire body, and his own lightning ability completely absorbed Akino's attacks, making the girl's attempts fully obsolete. Just look at that. His whole body is emitting a strong current. I simply must be trained by this man. This enigma of a man, Akino thought to herself as she kept on admiring Madara's display. That was a serve mistake as Madara appeared in front of Akino at a speed the girl couldn't comprehend and firmly situated a chakra sword just above the devil's jugular. Too slow. Akino was paralyzed with shock and fear as she wasn't expecting the tables to be turned this quickly. It was literally in the blink of an eye. You have quite the potential, but at this current moment you are utterly pathetic, girl, Madara said as he removed the sword but kept analyzing her face. Akino didn't take too kindly to his words but decided to swallow her pride as she wanted to know the reason for his conclusion. And why is that, Madara-sama? You have the power of a devil and fallen angel, yet you only use one half of your potential. Why be a fool and limit yourself, girl? Akino was shocked that Madara knew she was part fallen angel. She quickly searched through all the memories she has with the Uchiha, and never once did she reveal that she was part fallen angel. How did you? Please, sensing the energy you possess is child's play. However, you are not answering the question, girl. Why do you limit your ability? I don't want to use that power, Akino said with extreme distaste as she didn't even want to mention the name of her other half. All resentment. I can see it in your eyes. You possess the flames of hatred. Madara was both surprising and impressing Akino by the second. She just couldn't understand how Madara knows her so well. It was as if she was an open book and Madara could see all the content of her soul. So, what of it? Are you gonna preach to me like everyone else on how I should just forgive Barraquil and move on? Akino questioned with her tone and body language becoming more hostile. Forgive? Devil, I don't care what you do. Whether you wish to forgive said person or not is completely up to you. I don't have time to be preaching to you. Akino was pleasantly surprised by Madara's response. He was the first person to ever tell Akino that it was her choice to forgive Barraquil or not. He was the first person not to pester her with the annoying talks of forgiving the man who abandoned her and left her and her mother to die. He understands me, Akino thought to herself as she was now getting more comfortable with the Uchiha. Tell me, Madara-sama, what would it take for you to train me? What would I need to do in order to master my lightning powers under you? I already am training you, devils. No, I mean personal training, having a one-to-one session. Just me and you. Today I interacted more with Azazel-sama than with you. He was the one training us majority of the session today. I want to have you train me and only you. If I am to reach the level I desire, I need you and only you, Madara-sama, Akino said with the girl moving even closer to the Uchiha. You don't help my cause, my vision, and mission. To personally train you would be a waste of time. You devils add nothing to me. I will only train as much as I see fit. If you wish to have me train you, then you are to completely submit to me and devote your life to my goal. Akino couldn't help but think of some dirty thoughts when Madara told her she must completely submit to him, but soon quickly regained her senses and began thinking on Madara's words. What do I do? On one hand, I can join Madara-sama and reach a level of power that is beyond my wildest dreams, and I can potentially have this man to myself. But on the other hand, Riaz is like family to me. She is the older sister I always wanted, and me and her have been through hell together. What to do? What to do? Damn it, I'm so tempted to join Madara-sama. After he dealt with Rizer, Riaz hasn't really found a new goal or objective. We have kind of just been drifting around, doing small tasks for Surzech-sama. Now if he joined Madara, I know we will be working on something big. Damn it. What to do? What to do? Ah, there you are, my king. A small vampire bat has been flying around the lake with the sole intention of looking for her master and bringing him back to his cabin. Diana transformed from a bat to her usual form and stood behind Madara. She clearly noticed that Madara was topless and took this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to put her hands on her king's ripped body. My god, he is as hard as steel. This feels absolutely amazing, Diana thought to herself as her sexual urges began to kick in. Diana could see that Akino wished to be in the position she was in right now, and the vampire decided to take this opportunity to make the devil extremely jealous. She began caressing Madara's body, and it was driving her and Akino wild. Madara couldn't help but find pleasure in what Diana was doing. He couldn't describe it, but it just felt right to him. Diana took it one step further and began sucking the left side of Madara's neck to truly seal the deal with Akino's jealously. But the vampire soon found herself unable to control her urges and her sex drive was now reaching maximum level. Akino also couldn't take it. The atmosphere seemed to warm her and the devil couldn't keep her hormones in check. She began rubbing her thighs and biting her lips. Ooh, am I interrupting something? Because I could just come back later if y'all are still busy, Issei said as he found this hectic display in front of him. Actions. The streets of Tokyo. Raizum was currently enjoying an evening stroll in the busy streets of Japan's city. He took in the atmosphere of the active and alive city. All the humans, cars and planes flying by was something he found interesting about the mortals. All these humans, they're all moving around, and for what? Their lives have no purpose but to serve my father, but it is quite amusing to watch them all desperately struggle to have some control on the world. They chase for their dreams, for love, and for happiness. HMPH their efforts will prove to be fruitless. Just a little longer, father. Raizum continued his walk and found it quite odd that he wasn't greeted by any of his kind. I wonder why I haven't encountered any devils yet. This is the Gremory's territory and yet I haven't encountered Ria's or any of her servants, even Sona or her servants. This just shows they are children. Leaving their territory like this is a fool's decision. But it will be easier for me to move around and not be interrupted. Raizum took a right and entered a dark and dingy alley. As he wanted some privacy, however, he quickly sensed that he was not alone. Looks like you took a wrong turn, old man, a young thug said out loud as he and 5 of his companions walked out the shadows and surrounded Raizum. Now listen here, take out all your valuables nice and slow and you will walk out here with only one broken bone, ain't that right, boys? Yeah, tell me something, boys, do you believe in the devil? Raizum questioned as he was beyond amused to be threatened by humans. What? Listen here, old man, we ain't got time for this shit. Just do as we say, before you get your teeth kicked in, the young thug warned. Raizum broke out an evil smile and appeared right in front of the young thug in the blink of an eye. As for the rest of his companions, they all dropped to the floor, all completely lifeless. The young thug was shaking in fear. He couldn't believe what his eyes were seeing. The situation that he believed was in his control just flipped into the hands of the man who was in front of him. What the fuck is this shit? Are you some crazy motherfucker like that asshole who took Asuka from me? The moment the thug mentioned that name, he completely caught the attention of Raizum. Asuka? You mean Asuka Toriyama? Raizum questioned. Yes. Wait a minute, how do you know her? Interesting, tell me something, boy. The man that took her, was he a man with long black spiky hair or a man with red eyes and long ears? Raizum questioned. It was some son of a bitch with long spiky hair. The thug replied. Interesting, so this boy encountered Madara, not Cockabeel, and it looks like he holds some strong animosity towards Offiz's target. It looks like you are holding a grudge against that man, Raizum stated as he was now studying the thug's entire body language. I do. The son of a bitch kicked me out of my apartment, fucked up my friends and took my girl from me. If I ever see that punk, I will stab him in the throat and feed his heart to the dogs. Wait a minute. Why am I telling you this? The young thug questioned as he just realized again that he was standing in front of someone that decimated his entire crew without even touching them. This boy, he looks to have more potential than the other human I was scouting. Perhaps he will prove to be a better vessel. That hatred he possesses is simply divine. Raizum thought to himself. Want to make a deal with the devil? Raizum questioned. The fuck you mean? Tell me your name, boy. The young thug decided to play things cool and cooperate with the man in front of him. He didn't want to end up like his boys that were on the floor. It's Kazami Kishimoto. Tell me, Kazami, what would you say if I was able to get you your revenge on the spiky-haired man and give you powers beyond your wildest dreams? Raizum said with a smirk. I would say, you crazy man. Mad, yes, crazy, far from it. But trust me, I can give you power beyond anything you could imagine. Watch closely, boy. Raizum raised his right hand and a sphere of red demonic energy began to spin above the palm of his hand. Kazami was amazed at what he was seeing. This is the kind of thing he would remember seeing in the animes he used to watch as a child. What the fuck? He said in amazement. He just could keep his eyes off the alluring demonic sphere. Careful now, you wouldn't want to touch this sphere, Raizum warned as he could see Kazami's face was edging closer and closer to the sphere. And why is that? I will show you, Raizum said, then threw the sphere to one of the bodies on the floor, and when the sphere made contact, it completely vaporized the corpse, leaving no trace of it behind. Jesus man ... what are you? Kazami questioned after witnessing Raizum's display of power. I told you, I'm the devil, and I'm only going to say this one last time. Do you want to make a deal with the devil? Raizum questioned with his hazel eyes now glowing. Wait ... okay, let me get this straight. You're the devil and you're willing to give me power and the chance to kill that bastard who has ruined my life. That sounds good and all, but one question, why me? Because I can see it, deep in your soul. You want that man dead because of what he did to you. That hatred, that sin, it's what makes you special. And I can see that you want Asuka Toriyama back. You can have her back, but right now she is with that man. Kill that man and she will be yours, Raizum said with a smirk as he could see his words were having the effect he wanted on Kazami. And what's in it for you? The devil would never give power for no reason. HMPH, smart boy, all I need is a host for the power, that is all. Wait, that's all you need? Like for real? Kazami asked as he was surprised that the devil only needed a host. Yes, that is all, so how about it, child? Want to make a deal with the devil? Kazami thought about it for a minute. His life was already shit as it is, and the thought of having the chance to kill the man that has ruined his life was almost like a wonderful dream. He looked down to Raizum's right hand as the devil extended it for a handshake. Honestly, what do I have to lose? My life, my crew, my money, my place, my girl, they were all taken from me by that bastard. If this guy can get me revenge, then fuck it. I will gladly make a deal with him. Kazami took one more moment to look into Raizum's eyes, then decided to shake the man's hand, agreeing to the deal he was offering. Humans are such simple creatures, so easy to persuade and manipulate. Phase 1 of the plan is complete. Obtain a suitable human host. Raizum thought to himself as he mentally ticked off a goal from his list. Excellent choice, you will not regret this. Wait, before we go any further, I want to know, what kind of powers would I be receiving? Kazami questioned. You will possess the power of my elder brother, the power of the Antichrist. His soul is in need of a host, and you, my friend, are the perfect candidate. Wait, the Antichrist? Does that mean I'm gonna be strong? Kazami questioned. Beyond your wildest dreams. Now come along, Kazami. We need to go and locate my brother. This is going to be a long night, Raizum said as he summoned his wings, getting ready to take flight. Kazami decided to take Raizum's hand, and within a few seconds, the two of them were soaring high above the clouds. Raizum believed that his interaction with Kazami was just between the two of them, but little did he know that he was being watched from afar by a certain sharing and possessing protagonist. Indra-sama, are you not cold from the breeze? Visor questioned as she and Indra were standing on top of a building observing the conversation Raizum just had with Kazami. Visor, are you sure you don't know who that devil is? Indra questioned as he just ignored the girl's attempts to try and take care of him. Like I said, Indra-sama, I haven't seen that devil before, but I can say that his power is on the level of a super devil. Super devil, Yeah, that sounds about right. By sensing his power, he is by far the most powerful devil I have ever seen, Indra said as he was looking at the skies, trying to figure out which direction Raizum and Kazami went. Damn, it's cold. You sure you're not freezing, Indra-sama? I know I am, Visor said as she was shivering uncontrollably. She moved closer to Indra's side in order to get some warmth from him. But Indra kept his eyes on the skies. I told you to stay behind. Now look at you, you shaking like a child. And be left all by myself. I would rather be with you, Indra-sama, than to be alone. You could have left with Tobai, Indra responded. No, I would rather be with you, Visor replied with a grin. Come, we need to catch up with those two. I don't want to leave them unsupervised for too long, Indra said as he leaped off the building with Visor following close behind him. With Raizum and Kazami. So your name is Lucifer, right? Since you like the devil and everything, Kazami said as he and Raizum were now walking the streets, heading towards a location Kazami was not familiar with. Well, that's part of my name, Raizum replied. What the hell do you mean? I didn't tell you the complete truth, child. I am indeed a devil, but I am not the devil. I am his second-born son. Raizum live in Lucifer. Wait, so you're not the devil? You fucking lied to me, Kazami stated with a hint of anger in his voice. I'm a devil. My kind is notorious for being misleading. But believe me when I said, I will grant you powers beyond anything you could imagine. Oh well, I guess you were not completely lying. but I'm surprised that the actual devil had kids. Of course my father had children. He needed heirs to continue on his legacy and will. You make it sound like he's dead, Kazami said. That's because he is dead, or for now anyway. Raizum replied but mumbled the last part so Kazami couldn't hear. What was that? I didn't quite catch what you said at the end. Don't worry about it, it's nothing, Raizum said as he kept his focus on the street ahead. Anyway, apart from power and revenge, what else can I get from tagging along with you? Kazami questioned as he was hoping to get a lot more from this partnership. Anything your heart desires, money, women, material possessions, you can have anything you want when you are on my side. Wait, for real? Like I can have as many women and as much money as I want? Kazami questioned with his excitement levels beginning to rise. Yes, they can be all yours. Besides, I don't have an interest in those things, so if we ever come across them, you can have them without fear of me also desiring them. Damn, Raizum, where have you been all my life? Kazami questioned with excitement going through the roof. It seems fate saw it fit that me and you cross paths on this day and none sooner. But anyway, enough of that, we have arrived, Raizum said as he and Kazami were now standing in front of an abandoned-looking apartment complex. Wait here. I think you must be mistaken, Raizum. This is the Yakuza's turf. Once we enter that complex, we will be trespassing, and if they find us, they will give us a punishment that is even worse than death. Is it? HMPH. We will see about that. Now let's go, and don't worry, I am a devil after all. There is nothing these Yakuzas can do to hurt me. Hope you're right about that, Kazami said as he followed Raizum into the complex. The two continued their walk until they were exactly dead center in the middle of the apartment complex. Raizum raised his hand to the sky, and soon after the ground that was beneath the two began to shake and quiver. What the fuck is going on? Kazami questioned in a panicking tone as he was losing both his composure and balance. 4 demonic pillars sprouted from the ground and the devilish structures surrounded both Raizum and Kazami. Raizum increased the output of his power, and his whole body began to glow with demonic energy. Come closer, Kazami, the time has arrived. My brother's soul has been lying dormant in this complex, and it's time we draw him out. Kneel down and raise your hands to the sky. Kazami did as he was told and was now in the desired position, ready to continue with the next step. The earth began to shake even harder than before, with now the whole apartment complex shaking and vibrating uncontrollably. The windows began to shatter into pieces, doors were shaking off their hinges, and the walls of the buildings began to develop deep cracks. This is starting to freak me out, Kazami said with his panic levels only rising by the second. The clouds above them began to move closer together to form one big cloud vortex, with Kazami the only one positioned under the circular opening of the vortex. The wind around them increased tenfold, with now all the doors from each building taking flight. Come on out, elder brother, it is time you wake up from your slumber and connect with your new host. After Raizum uttered those words, a loud horrifying roar echoed throughout the apartment complex, and lightning began circulating the already rotating vortex. That's right, time to continue with our plan, brother. Wake up, our father needs us. Once again another roar, this time twice as loud as the previous one, echoed throughout the complex, leaving Kazami to only quiver in fear for his life. The roar finally subsided, but soon after the vortex began spiraling down and it completely consumed Kazami, blocking him off from the rest of his surroundings and Raizum. Tell me your name, child, a dark, sinister, disembodied voice said to Kazami. It's almost as if the vortex itself was speaking to the boy. It's Kazami, Kazami Kishimoto. Do you accept me, Kazami? Do you accept my curse, my hatred, my sin, and most importantly my will? It's simple, I will be your host if I can kill a certain someone. I can see it in your eyes. I know who you want to kill. I understand your hatred, your pain. I will grant you your heart's desire. All you need to do is accept me, accept the Antichrist. I accept you. I will embrace you. Now give me power. The moment after Kazami uttered those words, black smoke and dark energy entered in every opening his head contained. It entered his mouth, his ears, his nose, and his eyes. Kazami screamed in pain as he has never experienced something so excruciating in his life. It felt as if his body was being torn apart and reassembled. Don't fight it, Kazami. Give me control. I will make you strong. Kazami submitted to the Antichrist and allowed the unholy soul to do as it wished to his body. The initiation carried on for a few more minutes until the vortex began to slowly dissipate and revealed a Kazami who was still kneeling on the floor with his hands to the sky. But there were some noticeable differences about the young man. The vortex completely disappeared and everything now went back to its calm and relaxed state. Kazami now rose to his feet but kept his head down with his eyes closed. The young delinquent had some noticeable changes to his appearance. His blonde spiky hair was much longer, with it now reaching his upper back. The stubble that was on his chin now matured to an impressive goatee, and his overall body and muscle mass increased to a more impressive level. Kazami, brother, which one of you is it? Raizum questioned as the sudden silence was worrying him. Raizum, Kazami called out in a dark and sinister voice. Brother, I am here, brother. Raizum responded as he recognized that voice from anywhere. This is not the body I want, Raizum, the Antichrist said with a pinch of anger and annoyance. I know, brother, I know. You want Asuka's body, but getting her won't be easy. She is under the protection of Madara and she has fully embraced Jesus' soul. This boy was the best alternative for the time being. We will get her, just be patient. Madara and Jesus kill kill. The Antichrist screamed out as it remembered the hatred it possessed for those two, plus with the added hatred Kazami possessed. Lucifer's firstborn gained a stronger resolve to eat the heart of the Uchiha and bathe in his blood. All in due time, brother, all in due time. Remember, they are not the main goal, or have you forgotten of the plan? I remember, I always have. Good. You will have your fun. Once the world and supernatural world is under the control of the Lucifers, Phase 2 has been completed. Now we move to Phase 3. Give the boy control, brother. I wish to speak to him. The Antichrist did as his brother desired and gave control back to Kazami. Huh? What the? Where am I? Welcome back, Kazami. Good to see you're still with us. How do you feel? Raizum questioned. I feel amazing, like I have the strength of 1,000 men. Fuck man, look at me. I look like a fucking weapon and I can feel it. I can level this entire apartment complex if I wanted to. Good to hear, but you should be careful with using my brother's power. What do you mean? I got all this power and I should be careful? You got to be kidding me. Sure, you are stronger, but you're still human. Your body has limits. You will need to train extensively to handle more of my brother's power. What is this? Why can I hear so many different voices? It's as if I am connected to them, Kazami said as he kept looking at his surroundings. You are not connected to them. They are connected to you. The voices you hear come from beings called stray devils. They are devils that have embraced our true nature, to be vile and evil. At this current moment you possess the darkest and most sinister soul in Christian belief. The stray devils can't do anything but be attracted to you. Think of them as little children desperately looking for the affection of their parent. And that parent is me, Kazami questioned. Yes, your mere presence is like drug to the stray devils, and not only them. We will soon meet up with our new followers, the demons, and I can see it now. They will jump for joy at the sight of you. The soul of my brother is like a beacon of hope to all those that follow the will of my father. What? So like, they will respect me and follow me. I can have control over these stray devils. Yes, you are their crown price. Your wish is their command. But anyway, we should leave. We have got things to do. Raizum said as he prepared to create a magic circle. Fuck man. My life is gonna get a whole lot better. Stop right there, you two. Kazami and Raizum looked at their surroundings and they were completely surrounded by hundreds of Yakuza, each carrying fully automatic assault rifles and SMGs. There was no place for them to hide or make an escape. They were completely caged in. These are the Yakuza, I presume. Yeah, and the bastards look like they are hungry for blood. Kazami replied. Wait a minute, why am I worried? I got powers and Raizum on my side. I could kill every single one of these assholes. Let's kill them, Kazami suggested. Hold on, no need to be so hasty. I know I said we should leave, but let's have a little fun first and see where this encounter will go, Raizum said as he was finding this situation quite amusing. Both of you, get on your knees and put your hands behind your head, especially you, Kazami. The boss is gonna really love seeing you again. The rest of the Yakuza chuckled in the background as they all began thinking of the horrible torture their boss would inflict on Kazami and his companion. Look, if we ain't gonna kill them, at least get us out of here. I don't want to see that bastard Nakamura. Why the worry? Is this Nakamura dangerous? Raizum questioned with an amused smile. Are you fucking retarded? Fuck, I forgot you're a devil. You wouldn't know these things. Nakamura is a kingpin. The leader of the Yakuza, and Tokyo is his city. All the full-time thugs and gangsters that run around doing some serious crimes report to him. Even when I was dealing drugs, Nakamura always got a cut. I signed a contract with him when I was 16 and I have been working for him ever since. Well, that was until recently. What do you mean by recently? Raizum questioned. I told you, man. The fuck with the long spiky hair kicked me out of my place. I had Nakamura's merchandise and money in there, and with the complex burning down to the ground, it burnt the merchandise with it. I've been in hiding from Nakamura ever since. The bastard has been trying to hunt me down for weeks. Interesting. Very interesting. How about we take control of Tokyo from him? What the fuck you mean by that? Like, take him down? Kazami questioned as Raizum was confusing him by the second. Yes, why not? You've got powers and the devil on your side. Why don't we have some fun and take control of the Yakuza in Tokyo? Come, let's see where this situation will take us, Raizum said with a devilish smile. Tokyo Casino. At this current moment, Raizum and Kazami were currently held up in the head office of the casino, both sitting down and tied to a chair, surrounded by Nakamura's top henchmen. I hope you know what you're doing, Raizum, Kazami whispered to his companion's ear. Trust me, you will like this. Now hush, someone is coming, Raizum said. Door opens. Ah, Kazami, how you've been, my boy? I've missed you. Look at you. Some has been hitting the gym, and who's your friend here? Nakamura questioned as he entered the room with his jaw-dropping sexy wife. The name is Raizum. A pleasure to meet your acquaintance, Mr. Nakamura. Oh, has got manners. Would you look at this, boys? I never thought anyone associated with Kazami here would ever have manners. Come on, let's give him a round of applause for showing me some respect. Nakamura's henchmen did as they were told and all gave Raizum a resounding round of applause. Kazami didn't care much for Nakamura's presence. He was more interested in having a personal interaction with his wife. Damn, she is sexy. What would I give to tear that body apart and show her who a real man is? That red dress of hers is killing me. Mrs. Nakamura noticed Kazami's hungry stares and took pleasure in being desired by someone. His stares was more of sexual interaction than the ones she has been having with her money-hungry husband. She decided to throw Kazami a bone and gave the young man a sensual wink. Like what you see, huh, Kazami? Nakamura questioned as he caught Kazami staring at his wife. He decided to get closer to Kazami in order to have a more personal conversation with his favorite delinquent. So tell me, where have you been hiding, Kazami? I haven't been hiding, just been laying low, avoiding the police, you know, the typical stuff, Kazami responded. Oh really? So it's got nothing to do with the fact that my product and money were all burned to ashes at your place. Come on, Nakamura-sama, you saw? The whole apartment complex was blown up. It could have been a rival gang trying to take me out and send you a message. If that's the case, then why didn't you come to me immediately and explain the situation? There would be no need to hide, Kazami, Nakamura said. Like I said, Nakamura-sama, I was laying low from the cops. I didn't want them to follow me and use me as a lead to you. I was doing it to protect you. Protect me? Do you hear that, boys? Kazami said he was doing it to protect me. Well, ain't that sweet of you? Nakamura balled his left hand into a fist and punched Kazami across the face as hard as he can. Don't play with me, boy. I know you are hiding from me because you know you fucked up badly. What the hell? This asshole punches like a 3-year-old girl. I didn't feel a thing. I guess that one of the benefits of being a host of the Antichrist. Is this how you treat all your guests? Raizum questioned, still remaining in his calm and stoic nature. No, not all my guests, only those that have a special place in my heart. Is that right? Good to know. Kazami here is special. Raizum. That's your name, right? It's a strange one if it is. But anyway, what is a man like you doing with a bum like Kazami here? Nakamura questioned while giving Kazami another punch to the face. Think of me as Kazami's mentor and the reason for him being the new leader of your little operation here. Raizum responded with a smirk. Nakamura was about to give Kazami another punch but stopped mid-action after hearing what Raizum just said. The Kingpin slowly shifted his attention from the host of the Antichrist to the brother of the Antichrist. What the hell did you just say? Nakamura questioned. You heard me. I will be relieving you of your duties as the leader of the Yakuza and place my prodigy Kazami here as your successor. Nakamura couldn't stop himself from laughing. The sheer audacity of this man was beyond hilarious for the Kingpin. Do you hear this, boys? This punk right here thinks he can strip me of my empire just like that. Oh god, we have a real comedian here. Come on, boys, let's show him our appreciation. Once again, Nakamura's henchmen gave Raizum a round of applause, as this little interaction was also entertaining them. I think I will give you my special treatment first, Lee. Fetch me my knife, Nakamura ordered as he was getting prepared to give Raizum some loving treatment. Lee returned from Nakamura's office and gave his boss his golden dagger. Careful now, you wouldn't want to hurt yourself with that, Raizum warned. You really are 5-star entertainment, but don't worry, I won't be the one to experience pain, Nakamura said. He then placed his dagger just above Raizum's right thumb. I wouldn't do that if I was you, Raizum warned once again. Well, luckily you are not me, I am me, not shut up and bleed. In that split second before Nakamura could apply force on his dagger to cut off Raizum's thumb, the Antichrist's younger brother broke out of his restraints and punched Nakamura in the gut, causing the Kingpin to experience an unbelievable amount of pain. Kazami now. The delinquent responded immediately to Raizum's signal and broke out of his restraints. He quickly dashed to the nearest henchman and punched the goon with enough force it caused the man to fly through the wall behind him. What the? Kazami questioned, completely surprised by his feat. He knew he was powerful, but with that punch, he wasn't even trying and it caused a man to fly through a wall. Get these bastards. Nakamura cried out in pain. Nakamura's henchmen immediately readied themselves and their weapons to kill Raizvim and Kazami. Kazami, seeing that this could turn ugly, quickly dashed to Mrs. Nakamura, grabbed her and took her outside the room. Just wait for me, her okay, sweet thing. I just need to take care of a few things. Kazami explained, then gave her wink before entering the room again. Let's do this, assholes. Two goons fired their weapons at Kazami, but the delinquent quickly dodged their bullets and sprinted his way towards them. When the goons tried to fire again, Kazami appeared in front of them and bent the barrels of their rifles. Now this is cool, Kazami stated as he was enjoying his increased strength. He took hold of the rifles and smacked the two goons with them. He proceeded to punch both of them in the gut and followed up with two devastating uppercuts that launched the two goons to the ceiling. Da fuck is up with this kid? I don't know, just shoot the bastard. Raizvim decided to create a magic circle that appeared in front of him and Nakamura, as he didn't want the kingpin to be caught in the crossfire. Guns firing. Everything slowed down for Kazami. It was as if the rest of the world was moving in slow motion. The blonde kept flickering his eyes as he couldn't understand what was happening. Release it. Release what? Kazami questioned. Release my power and embrace it. Show them the meaning of fear. Kazami took another look at the bullets heading his way, and he could see that time was slowly moving back to its original pace. The blonde took a deep breath and dug deep within him to release his power. A mini shockwave traveled throughout the room and it deflected any incoming bullets. Everyone apart from Raizvim slowly got their bearings, and when they looked at Kazami they were beyond terrified. Kazami looked like something from a fictional story. He had large black dragon wings, long predator-like nails, various black markings and symbols on his body, and bright red demon eyes. Kazami, what the fuck is that thing? Nakamura questioned as he was fearing to be in the same room as that freak. I told you he is my prodigy. And you, my friend, get a front row seat at seeing what Kazami here can do. Raizvim said. Who of you here wishes to die first? Kazami questioned with his voice interchanging from his normal tone to a demonic one. Get that Freya. The goon couldn't finish his sentence as Kazami dashed at him and used his deadly nails to behead the henchman. Who's next, huh? Whose blood is gonna be spilled next? Nakamura's henchmen began quivering and cowering in fear as they have never seen something so brutal and gory happen to one of their own. It was a complete reverse of roles now, with the Yakuza being the victims and Kazami being the oppressor. One of Nakamura's goons tried to make a run for it, and just when his hand reached the door, Kazami dashed to him and used his nails to slice off the goon's arm, resulting in him being sprayed with the goon's blood. Kazami picked up the detached limb and shoved it into the mouth of the screaming Yakuza, effectively shutting him up. How does that taste, huh? How does being the victim of torture feel, huh? I will show you all the meaning of fear, Kazami said while still shoving the severed limb down the throat of the Yakuza. It got to the point that 75% of the arm was shoved inside the Yakuza's pipe, causing him to start suffocating. Yeah, you enjoy your meal. It's gonna be the last one you have. Alright, who's next? None of them moved. They were all too afraid to even try anything. They just stood there like statues made out of flesh. Alright, then I will pick HMMMMMMMMMMMM. How about you two? Kazami dashed to two goons that were standing next to each other and quickly sliced open the gut of one of them, which caused his intestines to spill out. Kazami took hold of the steaming organ and shoved it into the throat of the Yakuza that was next to him, making sure that it goes deep into his system. Jesus Christ, Nakamura said in horror as this was just too grim for him to see. He was used to giving out horrible torture, but to see this happen to his own men was just something he couldn't bear. Kazami continued on with his killing spree. He was gouging out the eyes of Nakamura's men, ripping their tongues out, slicing off various parts of their body and painting himself and the room red with the blood of Nakamura's goons. Bravo, bravo, your display was pure art, the true nature of the devils. It was so beautiful it almost brought me to tears. Raizvim congratulated like a proud father. Kazami's attention shifted to Nakamura and the bloodlusted youth's desire to kill increased tenfold. Kazami began making his way towards Nakamura, but Raizvim stood in front of him and placed his hand on the raging blonde's shoulder. Oh no, we can't have you killing him, Kazami. We need him to crown you as your heir, so calm down. You did your part and you sure did do it well. Kazami began to gain control of his emotions and consciousness. The blonde reverted back to his normal state and placed his hand on his forehead as he was experiencing a mind-wrecking headache. Damn ... that was intense. I never knew I could be capable of that. But I'm not gonna lie, it felt amazing. It felt like how I would fuck up NPCs in video games, but now it's real life, man. Being the host of the Antichrist does have its benefits. Interesting. He is not psychologically scarred or disturbed by his bloody actions. This boy is proving to be a better candidate than the child I had my eyes on initially. I just wonder how far can he go with my brother's power. He is not Asuka, but he is proving to be a good alternative. Raizum thought to himself as he kept on observing Kazami's casual behavior. Let's clean up this mess, shall we? Raizum said. Then he created a giant magic circle that disposed of the dead bodies and cleaned up the blood that was decorating the room. And Kazami, nice, looks like I don't need to take a shower. So what do you say now, Mr. Nakamura? Will you remain stubborn? Or will you do what is smart and forfeit your position to my prodigy here? Raizum questioned as he was now looking at the quivering Nakamura. Take it. J. Just don't. Kill me, Nakamura responded. He was still unable to come to grips with what just happened to his best man. That's what I like to hear. Call in all members of the Yakuza and tell them their new leader is Kazami Kishimoto. At the poker table. Sir. Sorry, sir, but it's your move. Is it? I wasn't paying attention. Indra responded to the dealer. He was currently engaged in an intense game of poker that seemed to be going on for an eternity. He was dressed in a smart all-black tuxedo. But the ancestor of the Uchiha was not heavily invested in the game. He was more interested in what was happening in the office room Raizum and Kazami were in. So what's your play? One of the players questioned him. Let's see if you men can respond to the challenge. I'm going all in, Indra said, then pushed all his chips to the center of the table. Finally, someone who has balls. I'm going all in too. No, why not? I could walk away with a lot of money if this works out for me. I'm all in. Me too, let's do it. Damn it, I don't like high stakes, but if you are all going in, I might as well join in. As if I'm gonna back down, I'm going all in too. 4 of the 6 members revealed their cards and they were all now waiting for Indra and another player. Well, my good man, looks like it is over here because this 4 of a kind has won me the game. The last player stated, then attempted to bring all the chips to his corner. Is it? So I suppose these sets of cards are useless, huh? Indra questioned, then reveled a royal flush which shocked everyone present at the table. You've got to be kidding me, a royal flush? Just who the hell are you? The player questioned. That's simple, I am a winner. Indra replied. Thank you all for playing, gentlemen. Indra-sama, please stay behind so you can collect your winnings. Thank you once again and be sure to return soon, gentlemen. The dealer said while collecting all the cards. All the other players left the table, leaving only Indra and the dealer. Nice job, Indra-sama. I didn't know you could play poker. I didn't even help you in the game and you were still able to obtain a royal flush. Visor praised as she was still collecting the cards on the table. This is a simple game. It didn't take too long to understand how to win. Indra replied, but shifted his attention back to the office room of the casino. Have you noticed anything? Visor questioned. A lot of things. My clone was able to observe what has happened in that room. And what did he see? A boy being played. 2 hours later, Kazami was currently in another room fucking Mrs. Nakamura's brains out. They were going at it like wild animals in heat, with Kazami making sure to tear her body apart. Raizum, on the other hand, was in Nakamura's office, enjoying the seat of the former leader of the Yakuza. He was currently sitting back and observing all the games being played in Kazami's casino through a large TV screen. But Raizum made sure to keep his eyes on a specific duo that were chatting together at a poker table. Knock knock. Enter. A bartender entered the room and placed a tray with a whiskey glass and a bottle of whiskey next to Raizum, then left the room. Human beings are such simple creatures. Throw a dog a bone and it will love you forever. Give a boy a taste of power and he will worship you until the end. That boy is so easy to manipulate. It's basically child's play. Raizum said, then took a sip of whiskey. It's time we move to phase 3. The training site cabin room 2. What the? Rainier fell out of her bed due to the unexpected scream from Asuka. Ouch, that hurt. Anyway, what the fuck is wrong with you, princess? Rainier questioned, not even bothering to be polite about it. Asuka just removed the blankets that were covering her body and was clenching her chest as hard as she can, trying her best to get her breathing under control. Rainier's anger was quickly replaced with concern as she could see that Asuka was close to hyperventilating. The fallen angel quickly made her way to the Excalibur wielder and embraced her in a comforting hug. It's okay, princess. It was just a nightmare. You're alright, it can't hurt you. Rainer's now soft-spoken tone was slowly putting Asuka at ease. Door bangs open. Issei, Azazel, and Kiba all came barging in, wanting to understand the reason for the scream. Is everything alright? We heard screaming and wanted to make sure everything was alright, Kiba said as all three men were keeping their eyes on the girls. It's okay, Asuka here just had a bad nightmare, nothing to concern yourselves with. Is it? Must have been one hell of a nightmare then. Asuka physically flinched after hearing Azazel's words. He had no idea how true his words are. Alright then, we will give you girls some space, Issei said, then left the cabin. The tension between him and Rainer was still strong, and it doesn't seem to be weakening anytime soon. Rainer wanted to call Issei back to talk things out but couldn't, as at this current moment she had to prioritize Asuka's well-being over relationship issues. Azazel and Kiba followed suit, walking out the cabin and closing the door behind them. I'm okay, Rainer. Thank you for comforting me. You sure? Rainer questioned. Yes, trust me, the nightmare is over, I will be alright, thanks again. Alright, don't go having more nightmares, okay? I need my beauty sleep. Rainer got off Asuka's bed and proceeded to her bed to catch up with her sleep. Asuka laid back down, placed the backside of her right hand on her forehead and stared at the ceiling of the cabin. What a crazy nightmare, it felt so real. Asuka thought to herself as she was still replaying the contents of the nightmare in her head. That because it was real, you didn't have a nightmare, you had vision. Jesus explained. Wait, what? So you're telling me what I saw was real? Yes, it is 100% real. Asuka's anxiety levels began to rise again after Jesus finished his sentence. So that means, indeed, my opposite. The Antichrist has found a new host, and I can see you know who it is. Yes, I know exactly ... who is the host. Kazami, my ex-boyfriend. But out of all the people that thing could have chosen, it chose him. Regardless of who it is, he is now your rival. It is now fate that you two will engage in battle and try to kill each other. Fuck, I thought my old life was behind me. Now Kazami is back in the picture. Give me a break. But anyway, do you think we should tell Madara of what I saw? That would be good. He should know that the Antichrist has returned, but there is another important matter we need to attend to. Which is, you need the complete Excalibur. That's the one advantage you can have against your rival. We need to find the two missing swords. I understand. It's just that, things are looking to get more hectic and I don't know if I will be able to cope. No need to worry, Asuka. I am here with you. My knowledge, my wisdom, my power, and most importantly my guidance is always here for you. When we made our agreement, I also dedicated myself to your life and well-being. Trust me, we will be alright. Thanks, Jesus, I needed that. It looks like I'm going to need to train harder now that I know I have a rival. Indeed. The next morning, Madara and Azazel were standing side by side observing Diana fighting a wood clone of Madara, and both of them were impressed with what they were seeing. Asuka saw that the two instructors were not really that occupied and decided to make her way to them, to tell them what she saw in her vision. Good morning, Madara-sama. Azazel-sama, hope you two slept well. Anyway, I have something I wish to discuss with you, Madara. It's about the Antichrist, isn't it? Madara questioned while still keeping his eyes on Diana. How did you? A clone of mine that is still in Tokyo informed me. Azazel and I were just discussing about the matter. We need to find the missing Excalibur pieces, Madara. Jesus said as he took control of Asuka's body and consciousness. They are not missing, I have them. Wait, you have the missing Excalibur pieces? When were you going to tell me? But firstly, why do you have them? Jesus questioned, being slightly annoyed. It was a means to draw out that insect cockabeel. However, I didn't take into account that he would combine the pieces he had already and create an incomplete Excalibur. You something else, you know that. Alright then. When were you gonna reveal them to me or Asuka? When the girl was ready and when she needed them. I don't know whether to be angry or relieved that they are in your possession. The only benefit I see is that I don't have to go searching for them. But I suppose you're right, Asuka is far from ready from using the complete Excalibur. For now, we can at least focus on her mastering more of my power. It's time we have that conversation. Christ. What conversation? The conversation of you telling me about Ultra Instinct, Madara said, shifting his attention from Diana to Asuka. Oh, I see. You lucky it's only Azazel that is here. I'm pretty sure you know of my as well as my father's power, Azazel. Of course I do. But I have also been wanting an explanation of the power from one who has actually obtained it, Azazel said. Very well then. Ultra Instinct is the ultimate form that separates the consciousness from the body, allowing the body to move and fight independent of a fighter's thoughts and emotions. It is by far the most difficult form to master, to the point where most beings in the supernatural world believe the form is a myth. Gods, dragons, sages, deceased angels, fallen angels and devils, vampires, humans, even Lucifer himself, they have all tried to obtain Ultra Instinct. But ultimately only 2 beings have entered that state, me and my father, but even we couldn't master Ultra Instinct. Is that so? Madara questioned. Yes, we have only entered the Omen. From what me and my father have deduced, there are 4 stages of Ultra Instinct. They are Omen 1, 2 and 3. Then after that it is complete mastery of Ultra Instinct. After countless attempts, I finally entered Omen 1, which is the base entry of the form. Then there is Omen 2 which transcends Omen 1, my strongest form. Then you have Omen 3 which is where my father ended. He was the best fighter and most talented being I have ever seen, but even for him mastering Ultra Instinct was a feat too great. No one has ever mastered Ultra Instinct. Perhaps it is something no one will ever achieve, a power that is beyond all our reach. Interesting. So tell me, do you think you could defeat me if you used Ultra Instinct? I haven't seen you go all out, but from what I have witnessed, without a shadow of a doubt I could defeat you, Madara. Is it a form that is beyond all our reach? Huh? Nothing is beyond my reach. You telling me you gonna try master Ultra Instinct? It's impossible, Madara. Don't waste my time telling me what's possible and what is not. Just tell me how to enter that state. As you wish. To obtain Ultra Instinct, one needs to shatter their own limits, to be at the brink of not being able to fight after using all of your power. This can only be achieved when the fighter has completely used everything they have. Only then do they stand a chance of entering Ultra Instinct Omen. But like I said, many have tried. Only 2 have succeeded. I see. I will make sure to keep that in mind. Anyway, let's get ready. We have more people to train. Azazel interjected as he could see the others were getting out of their cabins and getting ready to train. 6 months later, 6 painful and grueling months of training passed by, but the results of Madara's training were 100% worth it for the trainees. Rainier and Calawarner's power increased by extraordinary levels, with both of them now possessing 10 fallen angel wings. Too shy from their former leader Azazel, Middle couldn't keep up with their growth and could only obtain 8 fallen angel wings. Issei, on the other hand, his growth reached leaps and bounds, with the Red Dragon Emperor having his strength, speed, stamina, endurance and hand-to-hand combat improved tenfold. The young pervert was able to push his sacred gear to awaken the scale male Juggernaut drive. But not only that, his body went under transformation as well, with him growing both taller and muscular and developing some stubble on his chin. Asia was another one to reach new heights in her abilities. Her healing was so great that Madara concluded that Asia surpassed Tsunade Senju, but was still far from reaching the level of Hashirama. Asia didn't only focus on her healing, she also worked on her body and senses, causing her mobility and perception to be on the level of an elite fighter. She also did a lot of sparring with her older brother and was now exceptional in hand-to-hand combat. However, she knew one of her major weaknesses is that she doesn't have the same level of power as her companions. Diana and Asuka were the 2 outstanding members of Madara's group, with Diana learning to master the Sharingan with Madara's guidance. The vampire, with intense training and drinking more of Madara's blood, was able to obtain a fully matured Sharingan with 3 Tamo markings. However, due to her not being an Uchiha, she was only able to use the Eye of Insight. As for Asuka, she was the one who accomplished the most growth with Madara's training. The host of Christ's Soul was close to the level of the leaders of the 3 factions and was now exceptional with the sword. Asuka was so powerful that apart from Diana, she could challenge any one of her companions and come out as the victor. This noticeable factor gave birth to rivalry between Asuka and Issei, with both of them doing whatever they can to outdo one another. The rest of the trainees also became more powerful and more proficient in their use of magic. The noticeable ones were Riaz, Sona, Tsubaki, Akino, Kiba and Kaneko. Alright then everyone, it seems we have come to the end of our little training vacation. It is time for us to return to Tokyo, Azazel said as he was currently speaking to all the trainees. PFFT little training vacation. This was absolute hell, Calawarner commented. Yeah, but look how much each of you has grown. You all are nothing like how you were 6 months ago. He's right about that. Thanks to Master's training, I don't feel weak anymore. Like fuck man, I never thought I would have 10 wings. That still sounds crazy when I say it. Me, Rainier, have 10 wings. I owe Master and Azazel a lot. So thank you Lord Azazel for putting us through hell. It was definitely worth it. Speaking of which, where is Madara? Sona questioned as she and the rest of the trainees couldn't see him. Azazel raised his right index finger and pointed behind them. Everyone turned around and their eyes followed the path where Azazel's finger was pointing, and they could see Madara standing on the apex of a mountain. What is he doing? Riaz questioned as she and everyone were wondering why was Madara on top of the mountain. ISENSEI, what are you doing up there? Madara looked down and could see that everyone was waiting for him. He used the flying Rajan that was marked on Rainier's body to appear before them in the blink of an eye. Damn, I forgot how quick Sensei is. So you are done giving them your little pep talk. Madara asked Azazel as he made his way to the governor of the fallen angels. Yeah, but now we need to leave. Some of these trainees are students of Ku Academy, and they need to prepare for their trip to Kyoto. Kyoto, huh? Isn't that the Nine Tails territory? Yes it is. What? You wanna go see her? Why not? Perhaps meeting her can lead to new opportunities. You know that she has the Dragon Gate to summon Great Red, my king. Diana interjected. Is it? Even more reason to meet her now. So you coming with us, big brother? Middle questioned as her excitement was raising. Yes, she holds the keys to a being that has gained my interest. Then let's go already, damn. Asuka said, then created a massive magic circle that teleported everyone back to Tokyo. 3 hours later at the Tokyo station. Good day, the speed train destined for Kyoto will be leaving shortly. Please make sure you board on time to avoid being left behind. Thank you and have a nice day. Looks like we need to get a move on, Issei said after hearing the message from the intercom. Remind me again why 7 decided to invite yourselves, Azazel questioned as he was looking at Riaz, Sona, Akino, Tsubaki, Kiba, Diana, and Asuka. Because we can, Riaz replied. Whatever, let's just get on board. Hold on a minute, you didn't think you would leave us behind now, did you? Madara stopped dead in his tracks as he could recognize who was behind them just by hearing that voice. Elizabeth. Madara. What do you want, woman? Oh, is that how you greet your old fighting buddy? Madara moved his head to the side and saw through the corner of his eye Elizabeth smirking at him. The Queen of England did not come alone. She was accompanied by her longtime friend Cleopatra and her 2 subordinates, Zenobia and Irina. Elizabeth, I have met your ancestors on a number of occasions, Diana said. And who may you be? Elizabeth questioned. Dracula. Wait, as in the Dracula? Cleopatra questioned. Yes, that Dracula, the queen of the vampires. Attention, the train destined for Kyoto will be leaving shortly. Please kindly make sure that you board the shuttle on time. Thank you, have a nice day. Look, we don't have time for introductions. Let's continue this conversation when we board the train, okay? Azazel suggested. 45 minutes in the speed train. Madara was sitting at the very back of the train, occupying the center seat at the back row. He chose to sit at the back end of the train to avoid the unbearable noise that the other students of Ku Academy were making. Unfortunately for the Uchiha, the peace and quiet he was enjoying was short-lived as Elizabeth and Diana found Madara by his lonesome and decided to sit beside the Uchiha to give him company. You two do realize that you have disturbed the peace and quiet I was enjoying. Shortly after uttering those words, Azazel, Asuka, Sona, Riaz, Akino, and Tsubaki entered the final car to meet up with Madara and also avoid the massive noise the other students were making. I swear a man can't be by himself, Madara thought to himself as he watched the rest of them approach. How long till we reach Kyoto, Azazel? Madara questioned. About a few more minutes. Tell me, Madara, why have you been avoiding me? Or still shy to be in my presence? Elizabeth questioned as she wanted to play around with the Uchiha. Forgive me for asking, but what relationship do you have with my king? Diana questioned as she was not liking how Elizabeth was getting comfortable with Madara. King, Lord Madara. Oh, you mean my fighting buddy here? Oh yes, we have a very special relationship, me and him. Is it? Madara questioned. But of course, the Queen of England doesn't just leave her kingdom for anyone. It has to be someone special. You still haven't answered my question. What are you doing here? Madara questioned as he now shifted his attention to Elizabeth. Attention all passengers. We will be arriving in Kyoto in approximately 2 minutes. Please make sure you are seated and ... Oh dear God, what is that? Oh my God, everyone get down. Explosions. The train was all of a sudden hit with multiple explosions, and it caused some of the train cars to take flight and fly off in different directions. Some of the other train cars got disconnected from the rest and began rolling uncontrollably. Madara was in one of the train cars that were airborne, and the Uchiha quickly got off his seat and summoned the rib cage of his Susanoo. He ordered the arms of the Susanoo to grab hold of the sides of the car so that he wouldn't roll around, and once he was secured he looked to the ceiling and performed a cluster of hand signs. Fire style, fireball jutsu. The ball of fire escaped Madara's mouth and hit the ceiling of the car, causing a massive hole to form. He used the arms of the Susanoo to climb out and stood on top of the descending train component. Azazel, Asuka, Sona, Riaz, and Akino all summoned their wings and flew out the car using the hole Madara created as an escape route. Diana quickly transformed into a large bat and grabbed Elizabeth by the arms and duplicated the actions of those before her, using the hole Madara created as a means to escape the falling car. As Madara was still standing on the falling car, he looked below him and could see that the whole of Kyoto was under attack. He saw 2 opposing forces going all out. Innocents being killed and slaughtered, buildings on fire and various different explosions and magic spells being flung around Kyoto. Diana made it out of the car with Elizabeth, and when they did, both their eyes widened in shock as they were seeing what everyone else was seeing. The beautiful city of Kyoto was being under attack. Madara jumped off the falling car and landed on one of the buildings that was still intact, and he quickly began analyzing the situation that was unfolding. Explosions. This scene in front of me reminds me of two events that happened in our world, Hagoromo said while watching this chaos through Madara's eyes. Which are? Madara questioned. When your partner Obaido used the Nine Tails to attack Konoha, and when Pain of the Akatsuki attacked Konoha, Hagoromo said. Funny how this time this sort of chaos has nothing to do with me. Yes, for once you are not the reason for this, but anyway, what are you going to do, Madara? Find out how is attacking the city. I came here to meet the Nine Tails, and whoever is attacking the city is hindering my plans. Very well then, I will leave you to it. Madara-sama, are you alright? Madara looked above him and saw Asuka and the rest group making their way to the Uchiha. They all landed on the building and quickly made their way to the ledge to get a better view of what was going on. Do you know who is attacking? Madara asked Azazel as he shifted his attention back to the crumbling city. Not sure yet, but one thing is for certain, they are packing a lot of firepower. Where is the other group? Asuka questioned as she was concerned for the other members of the group. Madara activated Sage Mode and used his heightened abilities to sense where the other members of his group were. They are on the other side of the city with some students that have survived the attack on the train. So what's the plan, my king? Diana questioned while standing on Madara's shoulder, this time being a much smaller bat. My aim is the Nine Tails. Anyone who stops me is the enemy. If this army that is attacking the city is in my way, then I will kill them. I like the sound of that, Elizabeth stated as she was itching to let loose and have some fun again. Let's head for the main temple in the city. That is Yasaka's residence. If we can get there, we can probably meet up with her, Riaz suggested. Then let's move. Madara jumped off the building and landed on the chaotic streets of Kyoto. Elizabeth and Diana jumped off as well, deciding to travel with the Uchiha while everyone else summoned their wings and took to the skies. As the three were running through the streets, they saw various different creatures attacking the humans and Yaokai. They saw goblins, ogres, gargoyles, centaurs, cyclopes, and various other creatures causing destruction and havoc. They kept on running through the mayhem. And that's when Madara began to sense multiple signals of the same energy. It looks like the demons are the one attacking the city along with these other creatures. Perhaps the old Satan faction has returned, Madara stated while dodging weapons that were being flung around the streets. The old Satan faction. Looks like they are serious with following the will of the original Lucifer. But they have been quiet for years. I wonder why they are only making noise now, Elizabeth questioned as she too dodged a few weapons that were heading her way. Perhaps they are moving forward with their plans, Diana assumed. Explosions. The streets quivered and vibrated heavily due to the explosions. Some of the infrastructure and vehicles began to break down. Roads began to crack open. Buildings began to develop cracks and crumble, and power cables were flying around causing uncontrollable electric fires. Crash and explosion. Some unfortunate souls that tried to escape the city using a bus crashed into a gas station, and it caused a huge explosion to occur, killing all them instantly. My God, and I thought our battle was intense. This is just apocalyptic, Elizabeth stated as he saw corpses of young children and their parents burning to ashes. The flames of war, I know them too well, Madara said as he remembered the blood that was shed during the feud between the Uchiha and Senju. The three of them continued on their path until they were confronted by a dozen goblins and a few ogres. Leave these abominations to me. After seeing what they did to the children, I can't wait to get my hands on them, Elizabeth said as she walked towards the opposition while cracking her knuckles and stretching her neck. HMPH, do as you wish. Let's move, Diana. Right, my king. Make sure to meet up with us at the temple, Elizabeth. Yes, just go on. I will be there shortly. Now pardon me, I have got some animals to slaughter. Elizabeth dashed to one of the goblins and punched it so hard that its head exploded on impact with her fist. Madara saw that if they continued on the streets they would be constantly confronted by these abominations. Therefore the Uchiha decided to leap to the top of the nearest building and proceeded to leap from building to building. Both him and Diana looked above them and they could see that a few members of their group were engaged in an aerial battle with quite a few demons. They are everywhere, Diana commented as she just looked around her and all she could see was the fighting and killing. We're close, Madara stated as he saw Yasaka's temple in the distance. Madara and Diana looked to where the horrific screams were coming from and saw 3 disgusting but extremely large creatures spewing out dangerous magic spells that were causing some of the innocents to start acting deranged, and they began killing and eating each other. Those 3, their energy is that of a stray devils, but it's more vile and sinister. Perhaps their energies have evolved the longer they stayed as a stray devil. Madara thought out loud while observing the beasts. Diana looked down and saw 2 children, killing and eating their own mother. It was not a pretty sight to see for the vampire. Let's end this quickly. I don't think I can stomach any more of this chaos, my king. Madara leaped from the building he was currently on and summoned his Susanoo rib cage as he was bracing for impact. The Uchiha crashed through the roof of Yasaka's temple and landed on the first floor of the temple, where he found it surprisingly quiet. He began exploring the floor but quickly sensed he was not alone. He summoned his Susanoo rib cage once more in order to block an incoming attack. However, to Madara's surprise, his Susanoo's rib cage crumbled when it came into contact with the attack. The Uchiha turned around and looked behind him to see a young man with short black hair and blue eyes dressed in a purple ancient Chinese attire, pointing a long spear at him. "And who may you be?" Madara questioned while analyzing the man in front of him. "I could ask you the same question. Impressive weapon you have there," Madara complimented as he was still surprised that a spear was able to shatter his Susanoo's rib cage. "Yes it is, but wait. Strange blue aura, long spiky hair that covers one eye, looks to be in his late 20s. You're the so-called human who is challenging me for my title as the strongest human in existence? Yes. You're Madara Uchiha. I see my name has traveled far and wide," Madara said while looking at the spear. "HMPH, yes it has, but never mind that. I've been wanting to meet you, Madara Uchiha, and offer you a proposal. You still haven't told me your name, boy." "Forgive. The name is Cao Cao of the hero faction." Cao Cao, wasn't that the name of an old warlord of the Eastern Han dynasty? "Correct, you know your history. That was my ancestor. I was named after him as a means to honor his legacy. But enough about me. I want you, Madara Uchiha, to join my group, the hero faction. First, what is it? And secondly, why should I join?" "The hero faction is my faction. It was the second largest faction in Kao's brigade and was one of the factions that solely consisted of humans. We only accept humans whether they possess sacred gears, holy swords, demon swords, and are wielders of Longinus. Why would I join? We of the hero faction wish to kill evil beings such as devils, demons, fallen angels, vampires, and dragons that bring harm to human beings. Being a human yourself, you could surely understand our vision. We wish to protect human beings and rid the world of all supernatural beings that bring harm to humans." Interesting group you have there. However, I must decline your invitation. "Why?" "Because I have my own group and my own agenda to deal with. I do not have the time to be running around with you, boy. I strongly suggest you reconsider," Cao Cao advised while placing the tip of his spear firmly on Madara's neck. "Careful now, boy. You wouldn't want to do something that you would regret," Madara warned while activating the Sharingan. "They say you killed a titan. They say a lot of things. Want to see if they are true." Cao Cao looked deep into Madara's eyes and he could tell the man in front of him was wielding an absurd amount of power. So absurd that the wielder of the true Longinus wasn't sure if he could defeat Madara easily. "Anyway, it doesn't matter. You're not the main reason why I am here. Yasaka is nowhere to be found. I am just wasting my time staying here," Cao Cao stated while pulling back his spear and placing it on his shoulder. "Wait, the Nine Tails is not here. Then where is she?" "Not sure. All I know is that she is not in Kyoto. But anyway, until we meet again, Madara Uchiha." A magic circle appeared beneath Cao Cao's feet and the leader of the hero faction disappeared within an instant. "Halt. Put your heads behind your back and drop to your knees." "Talk about timing. That boy left just before the guards entered," Hagoromo said. "He knew they were on their way. It's smart. It makes it seem that I am the enemy," Madara replied. The Uchiha looked around him and could see that he was completely surrounded by 100 guards. "You sense it, can't you, Madara?" "Yes, some of these guards possess chakra. I wonder if they would still be hostile if I wasn't suppressing my chakra." "Wanna find out?" Hagoromo asked. "I don't have time for these fools. If Nine Tails is not here, I'm just wasting my time." I said put your hands behind your back and drop to your knees. "Why should I?" "Because you are an intruder working for the enemy. You came here in order to kidnap Lady Kanu as well." "Who?" "Listen, I do not have the time to be entertaining your little game. The person I am looking for is not here, so I suggest you move out of my way before it ends badly for you all." After Madara uttered his words, he kept his attention on the main entrance door and began making his way to it. Halt, stop. I said stop, damn it. One of the guards tried to attack Madara, but the Uchiha activated the Suzanu's rib cage and slapped the incoming guard so hard that he went through a wall. Anyone else wants to dance? The guards slowly backed away from him as they have never seen someone crush one of their best fighters so casually. Stop right there, intruder. Everyone shifted their attention to where the voice was coming from, and Madara could see a young elementary school looking girl that had blonde hair tied in a ponytail and matching eyes. She had 9 golden foxtails and matching fox ears. And who may you be? Madara questioned. Lady Kanu, please get back to the safe room. It's dangerous out here. Silence, guards. I've had enough of your words. Since mother is not here, I am Kyoto's protector and I'm going to do things my way. So you're telling me the fate of a city is in the hands of a child? Madara questioned as he could not believe what he was hearing. So, what of it? This city is doomed. Shut up and tell me where my mother is. I know you have taken her. Madara was quite amused by this little girl's attitude, so much so that he shifted his body to Kanu's direction and began making his way to the young princess. Tell me something, girl. What exactly would you do if I had the 9 tails, huh? I know you have her and I will kill you for your sins. Why don't you try? Madara said as he was now standing right in front of Kanu. Kanu's fear levels were beginning to rise as the blue flames that were surrounding Madara was making the prideful princess extremely uneasy. What's wrong? Didn't you say you were gonna kill me? Madara questioned with his sharing and glowing as bright as light. HMPH, pathetic. Kanu lowered her head in shame and embarrassment. She was supposed to be the leader and defender of Kyoto when her mother wasn't here, but she couldn't even muster up the courage to look a human in the eyes. Guards, put your weapons away. This man here is Madara Uchiha, the human that defeated Cockabeel and killed a titan. None of us stand a chance against him. That includes you as well, Princess Kanu. Madara looked to his right and saw a young-looking kitsune with golden hair dressed in a white and red kimono. And who exactly are you? Madara questioned. I am Lady Isaka's assistant and Kanu's caretaker. Please, Mr. Uchiha, forgive us for the extreme aggression. These are troubling times. Clearly. But Lady Sakura, this man is working with the enemy and has kidnapped our leader and is here to kidnap our last hope, Princess Kanu. No, he's not Solider. This man has nothing to do with the attacks or the kidnapping of Lady Isaka. How do you know? Simple, because he was with me, Azazel stated as he appeared behind the assistant and stood beside her. Azazel-sama, you know this man? Kanu questioned. Yes, Kanu, I know Madara very well, to the point where me and him spent the last 6 months training some subordinates of ours. So there was no chance of him kidnapping your mother. You see, that's how I know Solider. I encountered Azazel and a few of his students a few minutes ago, and they all confirmed it. They were at a training camp for 6 months and have nothing to do with these attacks. The assistant said. Door slams open. Damn it, there are too many of these assholes. Asuka said as she, Diana, Elizabeth, Riaz, Sona, Akino and Tsubaki rushed into the temple to regroup with Madara. How bad is it? Azazel questioned. It's a one-way fight. The opposition will stop at nothing to bring down Kyoto and take Princess Kanu with them. Sona replied. Explosions. Things are looking bad. We need a plan of action. Sakura stated as she and majority of the others were recovering from the mini-earthquake caused by the distant explosion. Kanu looked around and could see the fear and defeated looks on the faces of her mother's men. She knew she didn't have what it takes to stop the enemy, and it deeply saddened her. She then proceeded to shift her attention to Madara and remembered something her mother said about him. Is he stronger than you, Mama? By far, Kanu. I wouldn't stand a chance if I battled him, and the fact that he is a perfect sage just puts him on a level that is beyond my reach. Really? He is stronger than you, Mama? I have never heard of a human being stronger than you before. Maybe he can stop this. If he is stronger than Mama, maybe he can be the one to save us and help me find her. Kanu thought to herself as she kept staring at Madara. The princess of Kyoto suddenly dropped to her knees and bowed her head before Madara, showing a sign of surrender. Please help us. I am sorry for falsely accusing you, Madara Uchiha, but I beg of you, sir, please help us defend the city and bring back my mother. Everyone was quite surprised by Kanu's actions, especially Sakura. She never thought she would ever see the day where the princess would beg or even bow down before anyone that wasn't her mother. Will you help them? Hagoromo questioned. I suppose you want me to. Of course I do. After hearing the words you told me, it's the reason I brought you to this world. Remind me again of those words. For peace to be achieved, both strength and love are necessary for peace. I want to see if you can really combine Indra's and Asura's wills. To see if you can really do it. That's the reason I gave you a second chance. A child is asking you for help, Madara. How will you respond? HMPH, you enjoy remind me of those words, don't you? Very much so. If I don't remind you, who will? Very well then. So what's your response, my king? Diana questioned as everyone was waiting for his answer. I will do it, but only if certain conditions are met. Name them, Kanu said. Give me complete control of the Nine Tails army and the city, Madara demanded. Done. Sakura and the rest of the Yokai were beyond surprised that Kanu would agree to Madara's demands so quickly. I suppose Kanu is desperate to get her mother back, Sakura thought to herself. Get me a map and layout of the entire city. On it, Sakura said, then went to go get what Madara ordered. Asuka, contact Hayato and the rest of the group, tell them to regroup with us here. Sure thing, Madara-sama. Child, order the army to fall back and tell them I am their new commander. As you wish, Kanu replied, then went on her way. Here is the map and layout you ordered, Sakura said. Madara took the pieces of paper, spent 15 seconds looking at each one of them, then threw them aside and shifted his attention back to Sakura. Why discard them like that? I thought you were gonna examine them. I already have. I have memorized the layout of the entire city. I know where everything is, Madara said. Everyone apart from the group that was traveling with Madara was shocked by the feat he has just done. His group were starting to get used to him doing things that are beyond reason. They on their way here, Madara-sama, Asuka said after using a magic circle to communicate with the other group. Good. How many men do I have on the battlefield? Madara asked Sakura. About 6,000. How many does the enemy have? About 12,000. How many civilians? About 6 million. This consists of humans and supernaturals. Tell them to not leave the city. Order them to come nearer to us. But why? Wouldn't them leaving the city be beneficial for their survival? Sakura questioned. Incorrect. Can't you see the enemy has blocked off all entrances and exits to the city? No one gets in and no gets out. If they continue with the plan of leaving, they will be killed. Their best option is to come to us. I never thought of that. You and your kind can create a barrier, right? Madara questioned. Yes, why do you ask? Gather as many non-fighting supernaturals as you can and create a barrier that covers the entire city. Wait, you want to lock us in with the enemy? Sakura questioned with heavy concern. It's to keep any more civilians from entering the city. Our train was attacked when we were arriving, and I'm sure they wouldn't hesitate to do the same to others wishing to enter the city. Wow, it's like I'm hearing Lady Yasaka speak to me. You and her have sharp minds. I will get to it then. Our army is falling back, just as you wished, Mr. Uchiha, Kanu said as she returned from ordering the army. Good, now we wait. 30 minutes later, everyone was currently standing outside the temple muttering to themselves and waiting for further instructions. What are we doing here? We should be out there defending our city. I don't like the fact that we ran away from those monsters and leaving them to that part of the city, a young Yokai said. Easy, perhaps they thought of a plan. They wouldn't call us back if they didn't, and if it wins us this war, then sacrificing a part of the city would be worth it. His companion said. Fine, at least the civilians retreated with us. I hope they will be all right. I can't stand to see any more blood from innocents. Temple door opens. Madara walked out of the temple with the group that was traveling with him to Kyoto, Kanu, Sakura and a few high-ranking officers of Yasaka's army. Explosions. Listen here, my name is Madara Uchiha and I will be your commander as from this moment forth. Do not take my words lightly. If you listen to every single one of my instructions, I can guarantee victory for you all and win you back the city. Is he serious? I have heard about him. I like his confidence. That's what we need in a leader. To be honest, we really have nothing to lose. I hope he can back up his words. Let's see what he's got. Now then, there are about 6,000 of you, and you will all be divided into 10 divisions. Each division will be led by a member of my group. We seriously putting our lives and fate in the hands of outsiders. Do we have a choice? We don't have any better options. He better be one hell of a commander if he's making such bold demands. Madara proceeded to marshal and arrange the army into 10 groups, each group consisting of 600 soldiers. First division, you will be led by Azazel. Second division, your leader is Elizabeth. Third division, Diana. Fourth division, Cleopatra. Fifth division, Asuka. Sixth division, Hayato. Seventh division, Rainier. Eighth division, Warner, 9th Division, Gremory, and finally, 10th Division, your leader is Citri. A few of the people selected weren't surprised that they were chosen to lead a division. However, there were a few that were very surprised and honored that Madara was trusting them with their own divisions. Leaders, join your divisions and get into formation. Asia, your lead medic, join with the rest of the medical Yokai and deal with any and all injuries. Gremory's group and you two exorcists, you're the last line of defense. You are to protect the innocents and the opposition's main target, the daughter of the Nine Tails. And what will you do? Big brother, Asia questioned. I'm the overseer. I will be giving the army instructions from above. Sakura, you're with me. Now everyone get into your positions. The enemy is getting closer. Explosions. Everyone decided not to waste any more time and went with the orders they were all given. Sakura, come closer. We need to be higher ground. Madara performed a cluster of hand signs, and all of a sudden the Uchiha and the Kitsune were elevated to incredible heights due to the large wooden pillar they were now standing on. Incredible, you can see the whole city from up here, Sakura stated as she was admiring the view. Focus, woman, I brought you here to assist me, not to enjoy the scenery. Right? Sorry, what did you need me to do? You are to use your powers to create 10 communication links between me and the leaders of the 10 divisions. I can probably do 5, but to make 10 is impossible for me. Madara placed his right hand on Sakura's shoulder and increased her powers with the assistance of his Senjutsu. Let's try that again. Create 10 communication links between me and the 10 division leaders. No problem. Madara looked down to the battlefield and could see his army were ready and waiting for his command. As he kept looking at the battlefield, the image of a giant shogi board appeared in his mind, and his 10 divisions looked like 10 shogi pieces all lined up together, ready to be moved. Communication link is active, Madara. You can speak those 10 at any time. Can you 10 hear me? Madara questioned. Deep. Yes, my king. Yeah, Madara-sama. Loud and clear, sensei. Yes, 100%. Yes, Lord Madara. Yes, we do, master. Yeah, we can. Prepare yourselves, the enemy is getting closer. Madara ordered. Azazel just looked straight ahead and summoned his 12 fallen angel wings. Elizabeth broke out a sadistic smile and summoned 2 golden swords in her hands. Issei awakened his scale mail. Diana released a shockwave of power and awakened the Sharingan. Asuka powered up and summoned her 2 large angel white wings. Cleopatra stretched her neck and began powering up. Calawarner and Rainier both unfolded their arms and summoned their 10 fallen angel wings. Riaz and Sona both released their demonic energy and kept their eyes forward. 9th and 10th Division, you will attack via the right flank. 7th and 8th Division, you will attack via the left flank. As for the rest of you, you will charge centrally. Right? You ready? Hagoromo questioned. HMPH, of course, I am. Alright then, Madara, let me sit back and enjoy the show. All divisions advance. That's our cue, Azazel said to his divisions, then began the charge. Come on, let's go, let's have some fun, Elizabeth said with a devilish smile, then began her charge. Divisions 3 to 6 all let out a war cry, then followed their leaders in the charge, while divisions 7 to 8 moved left and divisions 9 to 10 moved right. Madara watched from above and could see that his first 6 divisions and the enemy were close to colliding. The enemy had Madara's army so greatly outnumbered that when looking at it, any normal person would think that there is no way to win this battle. However, Madara was not normal. HMPH, just as expected, with there being no civilians trying to escape the city and running around in the streets, these fools have no choice but to attack us. Huo, so that's what you were doing, huh? Not only were you ensuring the survival of the innocents, but you were also drawing the enemy closer to you, Hagoromo said. These fools are operating on a search and destroy mindset since their targets are no longer coming to them. They need to come to us. But your first 6 divisions are greatly outnumbered. Just look at the sheer amount of enemies that are heading their way. That's why I had divisions 7 to 10 attack from the sides. I would be a fool if I attacked from one angle, which is what the enemy is doing. However, they will be attacked from 3 different angles. Well, the fight is about to begin, Hagoromo said as the 2 forces were seconds away from clashing. Armies collide. The battle began, and it was truly a sight to behold. The leaders of the 6 divisions went all out against their enemies and were taking out multiple opponents at once. This was extremely motivating for their divisions as they could all see that they were being led by powerful warriors. The magic spells quickly entered the battlefield, and they were being flung around back and forth from the 2 armies, causing some serve casualties from both sides. For the first 15 minutes, Madara's army was putting up a good fight, but due to the sheer number of the opposition, they were beginning to be pressed really hard. That was until they received some support from the other divisions. The opposition were completely caught off guard as they didn't expect to be ambushed from both flanks. The cavalry is here, thank God, Elizabeth said as she could see that all of the enemy's attention was not solely focused on them anymore. With the enemy having to focus on 3 different sides, this was causing them to experience some serious trouble. The only advantage they had was their numbers, but even that was decreasing at an alarming rate. Madara kept observing the battle, and the Uchiha decided that it was time to use the city to his advantage. The Uchiha awakened the Rinnegan, and at the far east of the city summoned his giant ox, and at the far west summoned his giant rhino. He ordered the 2 beasts to start charging towards where the fight was happening. with a plan of decreasing the enemy's numbers. All divisions fall back, Madara ordered. Huh? But why? Things were just getting fun, Elizabeth said as she was still enjoying slicing the limbs of her enemy's body. I will not repeat myself. If you wish to stay there, that's at your own risk. What do you mean at our own risk? Cleopatra didn't finish her question as she and everyone else could sense the big forces were heading their way. All units fall back now, Issei shouted as he could tell what Madara just brought to the battlefield. The soldiers looked to the east and west and could see two giant beasts heading their way at full speed, and it was causing them to start losing their composure. Did you not hear the man? Fucking run, Rainier shouted. The 10 divisions and their leaders decided to take the advice of Rainier and proceeded to fall back as quickly as possible. The opposition followed the same strategy but quickly noticed that the two beasts were targeting them. If they moved back, the two beasts would slightly change their direction in order to still collide with the army. But the enemy, seeing that they cannot outrun the beasts, they decided to stop running and to stand their ground, hoping their numbers would be enough to take on the two raging beasts. As the beasts were edging closer and closer, the enemy decided to split themselves in half and each half charged towards one beast. However, Madara's two summonings were not instructed to attack the enemy. They were instructed to attack the buildings that were surrounding the enemy, and the two beasts did exactly as they were instructed. They bulldozed their way through large buildings and infrastructure that were in the enemy's area, and this was a massive turning point of the battle because the large buildings came crashing down on the enemy, and it was causing their numbers to drop like a sack of bricks. Skyscrapers, hotels, tall office buildings, all different kinds of infrastructure were coming down on the opposition, and it was really not looking good. The enemy. Madara summoned the rest of his pets using the animal path, and massacre of the old Satan faction army began. The beasts were going around causing absolute mayhem and destruction for the opposition. All divisions advance, finish them off now. The divisions released one more war cry, then proceeded to join Madara's beasts in the extermination of the old Satan faction's army. The opposition were dropping like flies, with their death count going from the hundreds to the thousands. It was a sight Madara was enjoying, and a factor that gave his army newfound hope and belief that they can win this war. On the other side of the city, a familiar face was watching the events unfold, and she was not happy with what was happening. Damn you, Madara Uchiha. You are starting to become a pain in the ass. Looks like I have no choice. I have to summon those two to join the fight, Kateria Leviathan said to herself. The high-ranking demon teleported to one of the undamaged buildings that were near the battlefield and was utterly disappointed at seeing her army on the back foot. Madara Uchiha, Kateria shouted out loud, and everyone stopped what they were doing when they heard Furious Demon. Who? That demon has returned, so she is the one responsible for this mess. Madara thought to himself. You're proving to be quite the nuisance, Madara Uchiha. First you stop our ambush on the Peace Summit, and now you are interrupting ambush on Kyoto. You truly have forced my hand, Madara Uchiha. I didn't want to summon these two unless I absolutely had to. Well, looks like I absolutely have to. Kateria extended both her hands to her sides and two magic circles appeared beside her. Come on out, you two. Two figures emerged from their respective magic circle, and for those who were able to identify and recognize the two figures, they reached a level of shock they haven't experienced in quite some time. Is that? It's Yasaka and Tiamat, Azazel said while still staring at the two figures. However, something seemed off about them. When they took a closer look at the two ladies, they could see that they were covered with strange demonic markings and a glowing collar strapped around their necks. Come now, ladies, the spotlight is yours. How about giving them a little show? Kateria suggested with a devilish smile, and when the two ladies heard her words, they began powering up. Soon Yasaka and Tiamat reached that stage where their powering up forced them to start transforming into their true forms. A few seconds went by and everyone was now looking at the full giant 9 tails and a giant light blue dragon, and both Yasaka's and Tiamat's attention was solely fixated on Madara. I'm not done yet, Kateria said, then snapped her fingers and the 3 giant stray devils that were causing terror appeared once again, and they were standing beside Tiamat and Yasaka. This looks bad, Cleopatra said as she could sense the monstrous amount of energy coming from Tiamat and Yasaka. All divisions fall back, this is my fight now, Madara said as he began stretching his neck. Madara's army didn't want to fight with their commander, especially the leaders, as they knew when Madara said those words it's best to get out of the man's way. So they slowly started to back away from the opposition. Madara reverted his eyes back to the Sharingan and used Kamui to teleport himself closer to his opponents. This should be entertaining. Come on out, perfect form SUSANOOO. In a matter of seconds, the giant blue summoning emerged and was focusing on its opponents, ready to follow the will of Madara. TCH that thing again? Well, this time, It won't be so easy, Madara Uchiha, Katarina said while looking at the majestic Susanoo. The Susanoo versus the Nine Tails and Chaos Karma Dragon. This is going to be one hell of a fight, Azazel said as each side was ready for an all-out battle. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through What If Madara Was in High School DXD. I hope you found it as intriguing and thought-provoking as we did. A big shout out to the Uchiha Wannabe for crafting such a compelling story. Don't forget to check out their profile on ff.net for more amazing works. The link is in the description below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Fanfic Fantasy for more fascinating explorations into the world of fanfiction and fantasy. Your support helps us create more content like this, and we're always excited to hear your thoughts and suggestions in the comments section. See you guys in the next video.